Erica Lorraine Spencer here. It is Wednesday, January 20th, 2021, and this is more documentation focusing in on big picture federal group stalking and monitoring that is a criminal and satanic system practiced, operated by the state of California, a public entity acting in concert with the people of the state of California, and what I am focusing on with regard to this real-time documentation of this ceaseless criminal system is the state's engagement in criminal element number 1, light. And the state is stalking with light. While it is stalking by entity, while it is stalking, creating and maintaining an activity level, this is audible, visible, and or sensational activity, the state is also stalking with light, which are the 3 criminal elements for engagement in criminal monitoring with communication devices, and doing so on a massive level in concert with the people of the state. And so this is ongoing documentation showing real-time movement as I go from place to place, literally taking steps from one place to another. And you are seeing what is impossible to naturally occur if this was in fact the sun. It is not the sun, and this is documentation demonstrating that. And this is also documentation of the third parties who are group stalkers acting in concert and facilitating a public entity's ability to criminally monitor an American citizen in violation of existing federal legislation. That is 18 U.S.C. Section 42A. This is that which I am, and I have already published for today. It's currently 4:29 p.m. and so this is just punctuating my point, the significance of what I am honing in on with regard to the state's practice of stalking with light. Understand that this is directly relevant to the prosecution of the people of the state of California, who are the vicarious entity through which and by which the public entity, the state of California, the entity acting directly by planes, helicopters, police, fire and ambulance, who are engaging in direct group stalking and vicariously group stalking through the people of the state. This is directly incriminating the people of the state of California. This is why you stalk with a fake sun, and this is for massive monitoring. As, by the way, third parties, the people of the state of California, are engaged in the documented identical behavioral pattern of what is stalking with the intention to monitor. This is what the behavioral pattern reveals. This is what it demonstrates. This is what third parties are also engaging in, and equally incriminating not only the state but themselves as one group. Third parties are one group, engaging in group conduct, maintaining presence in the path, keeping light in the path, stalking with light as well, stalking by entity, meaning maintaining group presence. That's literally criminal element number 3, relevant positioning. That is the group stalking. They are maintaining presence all together as a single unified group, and creating activity, stalking with activity, meaning as they are engaged in ongoing listening to you and observation of you, literally, while they're maintaining presence as a group, stalking. They are maintaining activity, literally following your movements, your activity on a communication device with any method of noise, either directly, the state, i.e. planes and helicopters and sirens, or amplification of any activity, that's also state action, and third parties engaging in the creation of any noise, even using their voice, honking their horns, revving their engines, using their communication devices for noises, dragging their feet, anything that you can fathom. That's what these group stalkers are engaged in. It is a criminal system. It is that which is highly demented. It is revealing not only as to what is necessary for federal prosecution, but as for purposes of prescription. Because this is indicative of that which is of a psychopath, and it is that which is shared by the group in the state of California, and this is why the state is stalking with light, and this is probative of that which is under no circumstances whatsoever even similar to the actual sun, where it is remaining over one address the entirety of a day, remaining over one location for hours as I remain, and then engaging in rapid movement departure from that location in a completely different direction in real time as I move. So this is stalking with light, and this is why the state is stalking with light, because it is monitoring in concert with the people of the state of California, and it is doing so via communication devices. It is, again, Wednesday, January 20th, 2021, and I will supplement this documentation, which is on not only Facebook, but it is on YouTube with regard to the Google Drive, which I have intend to publish not only all the videos, but the pictures, because this is showing the incremental movements, and it's relevant because you're seeing in real time. If you pay attention to the angles I'm taking the pictures and where I remain, and then all of a sudden that light source is not there anymore because it's directly over me at a different location, and you are literally witnessing what it is that I'm exposing that the state of California is engaged in. and which it is wholeheartedly and intentionally, all of them, third parties included, the people of the state of California are equally invested in keeping this concealed, and that boat has sailed. I am literally publishing it on the World Wide Web, where it will exist in perpetuity. It's 4:33 p.m., and I will publish the rest of those videos and those pictures as soon as possible. It's again on YouTube. If you click on the playlist that I itemize by date and also by venue, but specifically documenting by, again, for example, documenting on January 14th, on January 15th, on January 16th. I have the links to the share drive, to the podcast that is the audible real-time documentation of what it is I'm documenting in addition to what you can visually see with your eyes. All right, that is P.O.C. And I will get the totality of that documentation for today, January 20th, up as soon as possible. And P.O.C. is ceaseless. All right, 9:14 a.m., the state hovering again over in another UPS airplane right over the museum where its fake sun is also planted as I remain here. 8C, and here is at 150 East Holt. 8 CDG 641, the state's fake sun over the same location, all right? This is the pattern of conduct. Allied Universal on both sides of the parking lot, they're monitoring. 6CZY 496, 7FQH 207, 8KMG 111, 7H40079. It's 9:14 a.m. And I think I read, well, this is San Bernardino County. They are engaged in P.O.C. 1584188. That's P.O.C. It's 9:15 a.m. All right, and this morning, well, it's the same exact P.O.C., but let me just be precise with regard to the county building, which is the Ontario Health Center, located at 150 East Holt Boulevard, where I have captured in video and in pictures the state's light source over this venue at all times of the day, meaning it's remaining on Holt Boulevard on top of this building as I capture it walking east and west. Group stalkers are monitoring. Let me give you confirmation. A group stalker sitting in their van with license plate BSG 4162 in relevant position while I'm at the museum, and the state was engaged in the exact same conduct, hovering over the museum, using the means of the train as a amplified audible activity with its fake sun over the light source. Third party sitting in their van on transit is in relevant position, monitoring. All right, this is just one example of what they're all doing in relevant position, monitoring while I'm inside of the bathroom as well. This third party sitting in their van, and they are in alignment to the inside. Understand the walls and the ceiling, those are all superficial. That is no obstruction whatsoever for purposes of monitoring with communication devices. This third party in relevant position in their car. Allied Universal on both sides of the parking lot. The third parties inside of the venue engaged in monitoring and bathroom monitoring. This is P.O.C., the state's fake sun, over the same venue where I captured it in the evening, remaining at the same location, just acting as though this quote-unquote sun is setting, as it is literally behind the building that is 214 South Euclid Avenue. This is the exact same location where the sun is placed right now in the morning, aiming light in the same location in the evening, while also remaining over me at Laverne and acting as though it was setting, moving from over Laverne to that would be over the senior center, to being over the 280 Lemon Apartments, to being over 214 South Euclid as I walk south, by the way. All right, this is documentation that is all related. The state is stalking with light. That's what BSG 4162 is doing, is a group stalker. Allied Universal is in relevant position under all the same facts. They are monitoring, and this is how a public entity monitors you. All right, 150 East Holt. This is a venue where P.O.C. is underway because I am here. The state using its planes and third-party UPS providing that plane for purposes of federal group stalking and monitoring. This is a third party supplying a public entity with instruments of monitoring, all right, and that of a most threatening level. It's 9:17 a.m. The state is directing light via its fake sun hovering over this venue. The state is directing light in multiple directions. It's 9:18 a.m. and that's P.O.C. 8 EWA 875, 5 NAR 399, 5 SRT 132, 8 EYJ 827. Five DBA 529, 7LHY 261, 1537 4S1, 97658Z1, 5YJL 605, 5NDT 316. I'm sorry, 4ZKN 726. It's 9:19 a.m. And I am standing right in front of what is the parking garage for the 150 East Holt, nearest Transit and Plum. The state's fake sun moving east as I am moving. This is capturing the state's fake sun, which is now directly above me at the this parking garage. It's literally over what is essentially Plum Avenue, right here in front of me. And I'm going to go ahead and take a picture of that and take a picture of what is the absence of the state's light source. Or I just captured it above me where I stood squarely in front of what was the museum, and the light source was flying with the, and the light source was directly present over that venue as the state was hovering an airplane. That is the absence of that light source. I'm just taking a picture of it. That is P.O.C. with the light source engaged in real-time movement. And again, this would be visible if in fact it was in that location over the museum, and it was at that time. States engaged in real movement, 8 KEC 230, crossing path under the state's light source, creating visible and audible activity, 7 JDJ 193, monitoring with communication devices. All right, there's a state hovering again in another plane. That is P.O.C. That's the state stalking directly. The people of the state of California are stalking vicariously. They are one group engaged in group stalking and monitoring. This is why you have a fake sun that is directly over me where I am, and also supposedly over 435 South Bonview at the same time. Alrighty. That's just one example. It's supposed to be over Stater Brothers as well. It's supposed to be over Coin Laundry as well, which even that angle of the building, from the angle that you stand on, I would not be able to even capture the state's hovering light source from that angle. From the angle which I capture it hanging over Coin Laundry when I'm there. This is the state placing a light source there. All right, group stalker, license plate, 7 PTM 030. Exiting the B&G Plaza from the Plum Street, nearest Andy's Burgers. License plate 8BBS877. License plate, keeping her light, turning in the drive-thru. Understand this is all deliberate presence and light activity as I'm walking. 4SGK062, group stalker, classic P.O.C. ASPJ173, 7KUD 373. This is 5NPX 112. All right, so now it is 9:23 a.m. I'm going to take a picture of what is the absence of the fake sun over the carport for 150 East Holt, which is at the corner of Plum and Transit, and it is directly over me as I stand inside of the parking lot of B&G Plaza.
squarely above me. And this is the sky space over that parking garage where I just stood, and it was squarely over this direction. It is now not in this direction, which would be clearly seen on the camera. All right, this is real-time movement of the light source. Same exact P.O.C. Understand the license plate that I document in the drive-thru, they're in relevant position, and this is intentional positioning for purposes of monitoring. This is why a state stalks with a light source in the sky, ATUH 822. They're engaged in intentional positioning under that light source. The state has made itself vicariously present through the people of the state of California. That is another aspect of the imputed intent. All right, there is no coincidental presence where the state is engaged in monitoring an American citizen with communication devices. And were the sun actually present over what is supposed to be the B&G Plaza, my camera, when I stood on the property of 150 East Holt, would have been pointed east toward this location, toward this direction. And it was not. It was pointed forward, facing the museum, because that's where the light source was. As I am engaged in real-time movement, going east, minute by minute, the light source remains squarely above me. That is real-time stalking with that light source. And that is the pattern of conduct that every third party is engaged in cooperatively as a group. And this is what the state is engaged in directly. Planes and helicopters, police, fire, and ambulance maintain that same presence step by step, that same hovering, unprecedented level, highly peculiar and demented stalking conduct as a group. License plate, 6MER 660. 7VQA916, 8X98107, 8C60K18 is the paper plate. License plate 7VQA916, impossible light activity moving all across underneath the shaded area of the Clinica Medical California as they drive past. All right, that's the absence of coincidence. That's P.O.C. That's concerted conduct. 6MER 660. While, by the way, a fake sun is over the venue. All right, this is the absence of coincidence. This is how they engage in monitoring. P.O.C. same thing with 6MER 660. Light which is not occurring from the position of the state's fake sun over B&G Plaza now where I stand, and also not occurring if that actually was the sun under any circumstances. This is concerted conduct. It's touching with light. It's the presence of the creation of light activity while they are in relevant position, creating audible activity, acting with the group. All right, this is the state's light source over B&G Plaza. All right, it is now 9:26 a.m. And that is the exact same P.O.C. Okay, 9:34 a.m. I just crossed the street. I want to take a picture of what is the absence of the sun over 150 East Holt. I'm facing Hope Boulevard. But again, if that was the sun, we would be able to capture it, right? I'm taking a picture of the front of it. There is no sun over there. Let me take a picture of what is behind me, which is B&G Plaza, where I just was as well, where it was captured over the corner of that building as I stood there in the parking lot in front of Shiro's Liquor. What you have it is right here directly above me, which is squarely above what 326 inside of the plaza. I'll aim my camera straight up. All right, and this is straight where it is right here. This is real-time movement as I'm walking. This is P.O.C. And these are group stalkers that are patrolling past in their cars. That's a group stalker standing at the corner at ABBA Insurance at 226. AW3S79, paper plate, monitoring. 5DTK973, I believe. 8B, I can't really see that plate. Let's get this one. 7XQ. W888, they're all monitoring, all right, under the state's fake sun. This is where I'm standing in front of Ontario Town Square, in between Metro 102, right here at Plum. This is P.O.C. and understand where it is behind me is not over Ontario Town Square. It is not, if it was over Ontario Town Square, I wouldn't be facing toward B&G Plaza. This is the blatant stalking that the state engages in, okay? No light source down Hope Boulevard, all right? Because all the documentation is related. At the same time, the state was stalking with its fake sun while I am at Ontario Village Shopping Plaza. It's P.O.C. Alrighty, it is 9:36 a.m. Understand this is group stalking, creation of audible activity under the state's light source. and with a communication device in hand. This is how thorough these stalkers are. Everything that you are hearing and seeing in the environment is deliberate. It is the pattern of conduct for monitoring with communication devices. In the same way that the psychopath is hovering with a fake sun, that's a psychopath on a skateboard. They're not just skateboarding, they're not just driving by, they're not just standing outside of their businesses and outside of their homes. They are engaged in monitoring and in an obsessive, paranoid, demented pattern of conduct. It is the P.O.C. for monitoring with communication devices. It's 9:36 a.m. I did just go ahead and take a picture of what is the Sheriff's Department engaged in ongoing group stalking monitoring while the state's fake sun is following. It is now, again, as I'm on Holt Boulevard, which is just the opposite side of the same building, looking at the 3-star janitorial warehouse at 204 Holt Boulevard, looking at the face of the Ontario Health Center, which is 150 East Holt. And I'll go ahead just to show you the same thing. There is no sun over that B&G Plaza now. Alrighty, it is gone because I am nowhere near it. The state's light source remains relative to my location. So I'm going to aim my camera. What is the entirety of that plaza area? Nowhere near Shiro's Liquor, nowhere over Andy's Burgers, right here over me as I stand. This is the fake sun. This is a for lease building. It's empty. It's right in between. I'll go ahead and take a picture of it anyway. Right in between what is the 3-star janitorial and Rojas Enterprises. All right, this is the state's fake sun, which is nowhere over what is 150 East Holt. I'll take a picture of that because it is absent. Because on the opposite side of that building where I stood in the parking lot, the state's light source was present over me while the state was hovering in UPS airplanes, okay? Hovering over the museum. All right, they are engaged in relevant positioning in that line. They are all monitoring, and they were using that as a means of bathroom monitoring. Understand, traffic is monitoring. This is the creation of light activity, the creation of audible activity, visible activity, while they maintain group presence. This is the criminal monitoring system in operation, all of them representing communication devices. This is why the state is hovering over step by step as I move with a fake sun in the sky. All right, incriminating 8 DAY 223. 8 PBE 111. It is 9:39 a.m. Let me also just state the obvious. As I am standing on Holt Boulevard and I am facing what is 204 Holt Boulevard, I'm facing what is the what is south. Understand, this is in no way consistent with being directly over the Ontario Town Square as I proceed to walk north on B Street and the state stalks with its light source, all right? Because that's what it does. That's what I've already documented, and this is how I'm breaking down what the state is engaged in, literally stalking with a light source in the sky in a demented fashion. It's using a fake sun, and that's what all these psychopaths are doing while light is all over the walls and asphalt, including Omnitrans while they're driving by. All of them communicating a threat while they're monitoring together with that public entity. This is the conduct that the state is engaged in, literally moving its light source to be what is in a totally opposite direction, let alone location, all right? Not even in any way similar to the migration of an actual sun, besides the fact that the sun is not actually physically located over the museum or 150 East Holt or B&G Plaza or the ski rink or the 150 East Holt parking garage, and the fact that I'm capturing it literally engaged in real-time movement from that starting point to B&G Plaza back up, which is west, and then as I go north, that light source is over there, all right? So this is P.O.C, and let's go ahead and get the state stalking directly again, in addition to license plate number 2783601, 7S, oh no, I can't see that, 6AUF 986, 7BAR 688, and that is the state hovering in a plane over, that's the checking cash at Holt Boulevard in relevant position, flying west, which is actually requiring that the state to fly, which it did, it turned in the sky because it would fly directly into the 150 East Holt building. Yeah, it did make a turn, and now it's flying higher in relevant position. Understand, it wasn't even flying that high when I was in the parking lot of 150 East Holt. This is what you call grabbing the government by its cojones, all right? Showing it to be the psychopath stalker that it is. Uh-oh, that's my drink. Because in the same way that it's stalking with light, understand every single person is in the path right now, in the buildings, at the bus stops, standing around in the corners, at their job, in their home, wherever they are, they're hovering and monitoring and stalking in the same way. They are stalking on behalf of the state that's stalking with a fake sun. They are fully engaged in monitoring. You are stalking on behalf of that entity. And it is a paranoid, obsessive, psychopath, demented conduct that they are all engaged in together. It's 9:42 a.m. That is all elements present, and that is the ongoing stalking with a light source. That is called P.O.C. 9:43 a.m. Okay, I have to capture this because this is just, I don't know. In a way, it's epic to me. It's exciting because it's so idiotic what the state is engaged in. Behind me is the state's fake sun, behind Hope Boulevard, meaning south of Hope Boulevard. And in front of me, and there it is, I'll take a picture of it. Right, 3-star janitorial is what I'm facing. And in front of me is Ontario Town Square. No light source, okay? No sun, nothing. Taking a picture of that area. The state will move its light source over there. Third-party group stalker. City of Ontario, 1580358. Light activity. State stalking in a plane at the same time that they're creating that audible activity. That's vehicle number 3059. While the state is engaged in this asininity that it is. That's P.O.C. That's amplification of the sound of a plane, making it louder than it actually is, while City of Ontario using yet another vehicle to stalk and monitor, all right? Under, mind you, a fake sun. All right, that's called P.O.C. I just wanted to show you that there is no sun over the Ontario Town Square right now. And walking north on B Street does not make a sun appear. A public entity that's engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring places a light source over you as you're at that location. That's what that is. That's called P.O.C. It is 9:44 a.m. Pay attention to, as I capture this riveting evidence, planes come out, amplified, and more stalkers arrive in direct presence. Yeah, that's called P.O.C. It's 9:44 a.m. All right, I did capture that video and those pictures as I move from, I mean, the entirety of it from the museum all the way up to what is the Lemon and C Street. P.O.C. underway. This is why you capture third parties. They are psychopath group stalkers acting under the identical behavior pattern. So, but limited to what I just captured in video, as I leave from what is Lemon to walk onto the property, the center of the Ontario Town Square, the state moving its light source from directly above 280 Lemon Apartments and literally moving north up the street with its light source. Not only is that impossible, but the fact that it's moving from over the apartments to being over the amphitheater as I stand on the property. Understand, being over the amphitheater is in no way in comparison or possible. You're talking about within seconds of that's real-time movement. All right, this is impossible light activity. This is real-time movement of the light source in the sky, and this is in no way that which is the sun. You have the state engaging in real-time movement. The state's fake sun is over the Ontario Town Square in the afternoon. This is just on that particular day, which was, I believe, the 15th, after I captured it over me at D and Euclid. Then I remained at the shaded area, and then you remember the state kept its fake sun over 280 Lemon Apartments, and then it remained over Lemon Avenue, and then acting as though it was setting as it remained over Ontario Town Square. So it was over the amphitheater, over Ontario Town Square, way ahead of schedule. And you know why? It's because I walked from the street of Lemon onto the property of what is the Ontario Town Square, and then it engages in moving back to the top of 280 Lemon Apartments as I walk back from the property. Group stalking by third parties is continuous. Impossible light activity while they are patrolling as I'm walking around, stalking with light, using their vehicles, sitting in their cars, using their reverse lights, using their brake lights, patrolling, repeatedly driving past, they are manning the path, keeping me surrounded as I walk around and specifically engage in that City of Ontario vehicles. That's what I captured in my video. And so you have the state engaged in placement over the amphitheater. Understand, if it's over the amphitheater, I would not be at all capturing the state's fake sun over me at the entrance of the Ontario Ovitt Family Library as I face 280 Lemon Apartments with my back to the entrance of the doors. 3 PWC 946. This is just common sense, all right? All the facts are related. You are showing, and I am showing, and you are seeing how this is a literal artificial light source. That's an oxymoron. A literal fake sun in the sky, which the state is using as a means. They're stalking with it. And they're doing so because Group Stalker 8NVR102 is monitoring, and she is stalking on behalf and in concert with that entity. That is a psychopath. Okay, not only is she aware of what I'm saying, she is engaged in presence, which is no coincidence where the state is stalking with a light source because it's monitoring, and it's monitoring through the people of the state of California. And they are maintaining presence, impossible light activity coexisting with their presence as and they're also creating this light activity, maintaining this presence, meaning crossing path as I am moving around. All right, as I'm in operation of my communication device, as they are listening to me document what is their own prosecution. All right, that is the state's fake sun over the amphitheater, and this is impossible to coexist with just this one example right here, being directly over 280 Lemon Apartments as I'm facing the apartments with my back to the entrance. If you're over the amphitheater, then my phone is not going to capture the sun, the supposed sun over the apartments, and that's just the immediate example. That's P.O.C. Okay, this is showing how it is engaged in real-time stalking. That's what federal group stalking and monitoring is. Federal group stalking and monitoring is a system whereby the public entity is stalking in all manner. It's stalking in ways which have never been heard of. Stalking with activity, noise, any manner of noise. In the way that the city of Ontario is stalking right now intentionally while it's listening to me document its criminal activity. This is a psychopath driving a dumpster truck, a city of Ontario dumpster truck, number 9115, stalking at the end of Lemon with light activity. The state is flying over the same location in a commercial-sized airplane. The state is over the same location with a fake sun. This is stalking with light by third parties. This is stalking with light by the state. Understand, they're engaged in the same demented behavioral pattern. All right? That is stalking vicariously through the state of California. That's just one example, city of Ontario. All of them in relevant position, meaning the people of the state of California. The state is stalking directly by airplanes, flying again, hovering over now Ontario Town Square in another UPS airplane. This is not funny, but it's so pathetic because it is listening to me document and expose its criminal system, which is showing what are psychopaths. 7NBX 766 driving by as the state is flying at very low elevation, closer to me, just like it was doing at the museum. Okay, flying right next to me and hovering in a commercial-sized airplane over Ontario Town Square. Now, just like the state's fake sun moved north to be over me, the state is moving north in its airplanes to be over me, flying next to me while it's listening to me document how it's engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring. Okay, being over the amphitheater, like I said, not able to coexist with being over the 280 apartments directly in front of the entrance. If that was the case, if that's where the sun is, then my camera would not capture it being directly above me at the entrance. Okay, that's just one example, and this is the state literally moving its light source across the street over that Ontario Town Square. If I go there, keeping it back over 280 Lemon Apartments, and even in the position in the over the 280 Lemon Apartments where it was as I stood on the opposite side, meaning on Lemon. I'm standing at Lemon on Lemon Street, but on the Ontario Town Square side, not the 280 Lemon Apartment side. The state's fake sun remaining squarely above me. It's relative to where I am. I am the target with this light as they surround as psychopaths monitoring. It's closer to the center. Understand, even the state's fake sun being there is not going to be seen as I stand at the entrance of the Ontario Ovitt Family Library. The state has to place its light source at the very edge in order for me to capture it, where I am standing at the entrance of the library with my camera. All right. And that is the state engaged in real-time movement with its light source, which is not anywhere near the amphitheater. This is just pointing out that which is significant. Understand, this is common sense because it's all related. This is not even anywhere near B&G Plaza, which it clearly was captured. Over the museum, which it was clearly captured while I'm standing facing south, by the way, outside of 150 East Hope Boulevard. It literally engaged in moving what is from the museum east over B&G Plaza, and then west, and now north as I am walking up Lemon to be over where I am still. That is in no way the sun whatsoever. This is more of the same documentation. This is 5UMB071. Impossible light activity while another third-party group stalker is running behind, communication device in hand while he's looking like he's focused on exercising. They're all monitoring. Under a fake sun. Planes hovering over the property. Impossible light activity swiping all across the property as third-party group stalkers drive by and run past. This is monitoring. This is what the state of California is engaged in. All right. It is 10:09 a.m. and that's just what I captured in the video. Third-party group stalkers on their bikes. Third-party group stalkers with I think that's EUCLID or some similar. I'm going to go over there and document them right now. They're creating light activity, and they are present under all the same facts, monitoring and helping third-party group stalkers, helping all these psychopaths. They are psychopaths using a company vehicle to do so. 6XSU 8951, I believe, or B951. That's P.O.C, and that's the helicopter. That's not helping any of them. I'm going to go document them. As you can also see, that is the same pattern of conduct, especially as it listens to me document its pattern of conduct of monitoring and stalking with a fake sun. That's the creation of audible activity. That's the state creating that activity directly, while these third parties over here that I'm about to go recite their license plates are monitoring in relevant position while they're creating light. That's what that is. It is EUCLID creating light activity while the state is placing a fake sun, moving left and right and north and south with it. EUCLID number T1502541. Sitting in the vehicle, focused on a communication device, while another one is out here appearing as though he's working on something. They're present under all the same facts. License plate 32270W1. The other one is license plate 30242M2. All right, the state just got through flying over again by helicopter over the same location, amplifying the sound of that audible activity. Group stalkers are all on the cameras at Wells Fargo. They're all in relevant position. This is monitoring headquarters because I am here. The state is moving its fake sun all around, and they are merely loitering in relevant position. They can go to the ATM. They can clock in at work. They can clock out of work. They're in relevant position, and they are all monitoring. This is 6AJN811, 71757B3, 7CIP206, 7VKW193, 4SXD608, 7RZG689. Stalkers sitting in the car in relevant position, mind you, even in alignment to me as I'm at the shaded area monitoring. That's P.O.C. 5AWB118, 7LMB088, 7CWT754. Driving north on Euclid Avenue, impossible light activity, as I've already captured in the videos. You've seen it. That which is not occurring from any sun, that's the marker of a third party. That's that demented psychopath stalking conduct while they're monitoring. That's why all that light is appearing. They are engaged in monitoring. That's all they're doing. And that is, my friend, also why the state's fake sun is hovering over Wells Fargo right now, which I'll go ahead and get a picture of. These group stalkers are running to their cars. 938XD. And I did just capture, good morning. And I did just capture the state's fake sun movement again over me at Wells Fargo. Moving from being over 280 Lemon Apartments, moments after the state engaged in flying over the same property by helicopter, amplifying the sound as I'm approaching what is third-party group stalker EUCLID using its vehicles to create light activity. Understand, EUCLID is engaged in sexual violence. All right, 71757B3, 54384W1. And let me tell you how the state is molesting with its light source, touching all over my body with its light, serving a criminal purpose. And EUCLID is in relevant position, engaging in criminal element number 3. EUCLID is creating light activity via its commercial vehicle, engaging in criminal element number 1. EUCLID is creating visible activity and audible activity with that light and the activity that they're engaged in on the side, on the street in alignment to me. We're across from Wells Fargo, which is engagement in criminal elements number 2, while the state is touching all over me. While you're monitoring, and the state is engaging in touching, or you are engaging in touching, this is the state touching all over with its criminal instrument of light, which is clearly not the sun, which is the significance of this documentation. UTILIQUEST is in relevant position monitoring with that entity, and UTILIQUEST is using its company, its veil, if you will, the guise under which it is monitoring with that public entity. Understand, this is how a public entity engages in monitoring an American citizen, and that company shall be prosecuted and exposed as such. This is how you are able to prosecute the people of the state of California and break apart what is the means by which that public entity is engaged in monitoring you, okay? Because UTILIQUEST is that instrument for criminal monitoring. UTILIQUEST is that threat. UTILIQUEST is engaged in sexual violence, all right? Those are the federal repercussions. That was a helicopter you heard. AW29TO2, paper plate, impossible light activity. They're all engaged in the same conduct, all right? That's P.O.C, and that is what I captured in the video. I captured the state's fake sun over Wells Fargo, nowhere near being over 280 limit apartments. This is real-time movement of a fake sun, and guess what? While a third party is moving in her vehicle, and she hops into her car real quick to hurry up and turn on her reverse. She's not even fully in her car, and she already has her reverse lights on. This is the creation of activity, stalking with activity, the same psychopath, the same behavioral pattern practiced by the public entity proper and by the public entity vicariously. That is through the people of the state of California in their company vehicles, such as UTILIQUEST is engaged in, all right? And in their private vehicles, such as that psychopath that I documented, who was halfway in her car and made sure she turned on her reverse lights in order to stalk with activity. This is a group stalker walking past with a phone, and she doesn't have a license plate. That's P.O.C. while the state is amplifying plane engines over my head at the shaded area, okay? That's the group stalking conduct. That is a psychopath. All right. The state's fake sun over Wells Fargo is what I captured. And while that psychopath, she's just one, engaging in the same behavioral pattern that they all are, while that psychopath is driving past the same impossible light activity all over the side of Wells Fargo, really, while she's in the shade, okay, while all over the asphalt and moving, where is this light coming from? The state's fake sun is over the venue. But understand, even if that was the sun, the state's placement of its fake sun, which is more incriminating evidence, by the way, but even the state's placement of its fake sun is not the creation of this light activity all over the building. This is absolutely impossible, all right? So you're talking about what is criminal monitoring. Those are the criminal elements. Light activity in relevant position. All right, she's creating visible and audible activity, and that's just her. The state is creating light activity, stalking with a light source. All right, she's present in relevant position while the state is engaged in that conduct, irrespective of any claim that any business she claims. It doesn't matter what she says she's doing. She could be going to get money out of the bank for her dying child, not to remedialize any serious event. But let me be clear, this is how a public entity engages in monitoring you through the people of the state of California who think inaccurately and to their own detriment that they can have some sort of quote unquote legitimate or valid excuse for being present, for creating any activity, which is how you monitor. And that is not the case. That is not the case whatsoever. And this is stripping down the criminal elements, because that's what you're focused on. And you are not only prosecuting that public entity, you're prosecuting the people of the state of California, and you will prosecute them under the means by which they're also engaging in monitoring you and engaging in sexually violating you while they do so. All right. So it's not just the third parties. Guess what? The third parties' means of monitoring you, their means of being present while monitoring you, their means of facilitating that public entity's ability to monitor you through their presence and activity creation. That's UTILIQUEST. All right. And so this is the introduction of what is a new legal concept, a public entity being a sex offender. It is. And engaged in being what is stalking, because it is monitoring you and doing it as a group. This is group monitoring, federal group stalking and monitoring. And the people of the state of California using their company, using their uniforms, their titles, their positions, whatever status, using whatever knowledge, skill set that they have in order to engage in that criminal activity, you're going to be prosecuted for that, and you shall if not lose that position, specifically those in the medical profession, those engaged in the legal profession. Oh, yeah. Okay, but those using their company vehicles, those companies, if they survive, you're talking about being recognized as one that engages in and whose employs a company that engages in what is federal group stalking and monitoring of American citizens, all right? What is sexual violence of American citizens? This company engaged in and federally prosecuted for that. And this is how you're stripping that down, because that's exactly what they're doing. And that is not to be ignored whatsoever under federal prosecution. And this is acknowledging every company, every individual that is engaged in that, because that they represent the people of the state of California, and they are present under all the same facts and hallmarks. And there is no way whatsoever that they're going to in any way elude federal prosecution and exposure by being under some company name. That company name is going to be dragged. That's what's going to happen. That company name is going to be federally prosecuted. It is 10:20 a.m. and that's P.O.C. All right, it is 10:23 a.m. and that is the state just got through flying over, as I'm sitting at the shaded area at 280 Lemon Apartments, and the state has moved its light source back over those apartments. The state is sounding, as you heard, you already heard the state flying over by helicopter. It engaged in that again as I logged onto the Ontario Wi-Fi, and the state is amplifying audible activity of a helicopter. That's what that is, 7JGV 505. And while doing so, and while this license plate drive-by, impossible light activity, just like I showed in the video, while they're crossing path, that's a third party. UPS in relevant position, creating light activity. The beeping on the truck is creation of ongoing audible activity while they maintain presence, all right? This is under all the same facts as well. This is another example, UPS using their planes, hovering over me at the museum, hovering over me here at the Ontario Town Square. And guess what? Hovering over me right now by vehicle, creating activity for purposes of criminal facilitation in concert with that state that was also creating audible activity while they're in relevant position. UPS pulling up right now in front of 280 Lemon Apartments. UPS license number 197634, I believe. That's the number on the front of it. The state is, the license plate is 24098R2, and that is US.021800. That's called audible activity. That is while they have their hazards on. That's P.O.C. And they are approaching and remaining seconds following the state's flying directly over me with the sound of amplified helicopter, which again you've already heard. That is exactly what occurred, and they pull up, intentionally understand third parties are listening to everything that they're going to face as far as federal prosecution. So UPS pulling up, again, is in the same predicament as UTILIQuest and every other third party, company, institution, etc. that is engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring. It is how the public entity is monitoring you systematically, and there is no form whereby you are in any way avoiding that. Engaging in your business is the form under which a public entity is monitoring you systematically, okay? So UPS, let me just speak to that, first of all. That's the absence of coincidence. But also, the UPS comes up and pulls up under the state's fake sun, by the way, and engaging in presence, activity creation, light activity creation, while the state is flying over and amplifying the sound of helicopters. That's concerted conduct. That is the absence of coincidence. Those are the hallmarks under which UPS is present, engaging in criminal facilitation of what is monitoring with communication devices. And it is the absence of coincidence. UPS, FedEx, Amazon Prime, USPS, using their business for purposes of stalking on behalf of the public entity, for purposes of what is molesting with light as they are engaging in the criminal elements. And this is intentional and malicious conduct by the people of the state of California driving a UPS vehicle. That's a group stalker in a UPS vehicle. All right, that's what that is. It is 10:26 a.m. And that's what's occurring right now. Just want to go ahead and get that. That's, again, that's either a 1 or an I, 197634 or I97634. And I got that US dot number and the license plate again, 24098R2. That is P.O.C.
All right, third-party group stalkers speeding past at the turn circle. These are demon-possessed criminal monitors and sex offenders that know that they're being documented. 7HHD455 included in that group as they stop to see, as I'm pressing buttons on my phone, if I'm opening up my Audible recorder, if I'm opening up my camera, literally what they do with their vehicles and the presence of any third party, even on foot, at the moment that they're driving by. It is all entirely deliberate conduct in the same way that the state is stalking with its light source, okay? The same stalking conduct while they are monitoring with the state. So you have the state engaged in ongoing monitoring through the people of the state of California who are aware that they're being documented, dodging under the state's fake sun while they're engaged in what is that which is concerted conduct with the state. Flashing of light all over onto the concrete, moving about into the shaded area as they are driving past, which is the ongoing pattern of conduct, all right? That is also criminal monitoring. That's how you monitor, with light. And it is also that which they are doing with simultaneity to my activity on a communication device. And it is also demonic activity, all right? This is that which the state of California is engaged in while they maintain position and all this impossible light activity is ongoing while the state's fake sun is remaining over the same apartment buildings after, mind you, I documented en route to this location, it bouncing literally all over the place from Ontario Town Square to the Wells Fargo building back to the 280 Lemon Apartments. 8F64289 crossing path and impossible light activity onto the asphalt. That's just one third party because I'm going to go get some more third parties that are in relevant position while the state's fake sun hovers above, speaking to ongoing criminal monitoring as I'm getting their license plates. Let me get you a picture of a third party criminal, psychopath, crossing path under a fake sun. VO110 and 8 POF 715. Psychopaths acting with a third party that I just captured. She's patrolling on foot while impossible light activity is sweeping across the sidewalk and third parties are driving by while the state's light source is remaining over the same location. All right, remaining over the same location since I last took my video at 10:30 in the morning after it engaged in rapid movement as I'm in motion, moving from the museum to B&G Plaza to 280 Lemon Apartments. And in between that, mind you, I documented going across the street to Lemon, to Ontario Town Square where it's captured, and then I go across the street to Wells Fargo where it is clearly captured. Not aiming it toward 280 Lemon Apartments, it's over the edge of the Wells Fargo while the third parties are engaging in this identical behavior pattern. They're present, stalking with their presence, that's stalking by entity, while impossible light activity all over the surfaces, all right? They are sex offenders, they are psychopaths, they are stalking with this entity and monitoring. That's 12:44 p.m. and that is P.O.C. This is 7JCD160, another third-party group stalker representing the same group, and impossible light activity flashing all across the shaded walkway while they are turning at the turn circle, all right? That's P.O.C. It is 12:44 p.m. And like I have already stated, the ongoing conduct of what is a group of psychopaths is in no way suggesting that is light activity that is ever occurring from the sun or from any light source that is aimed above. You have the state aiming light all across at the same time that they are intentionally crossing path. That's what that is. And that is the Honda Civic that's driving as I'm sitting at the same shaded area. And the state's fake sun just captured as it's acting as though it's moving. It's not moving anywhere. It's remaining directly over 280 Lemon. That's squarely where I captured it. And it is over the same venue where third parties are patrolling with knowledge of what I'm doing on my communication device, engaging in more provision of evidence against the people of the state of California who are sex offenders and who are psychopaths, monitoring with this public entity that is monitoring with communication devices in violation of 18 U.S.C. Section 42A, by the way, while I am right beside what is Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library. Monitoring, all right? This molesting with light is serving the purpose for corporate monitoring and group stalking. They are all in relevant position. The ongoing light activity is serving the criminal purpose of monitoring. Just want to be clear on that. It is 12:45 p.m. And that's P.O.C. All right, it's 12:58 p.m. So as I stand in the section in between the 280 Lemon Apartments and the Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library, understand, I'm not underneath the shaded area. You've got a different guy that's over here with the red hat. He's group stalking with the rest of them. The state is aiming light onto the sidewalk as I stand, and third parties are intentionally driving past, okay? These are the acts of criminal monitoring, and that is
stalking, just like the state is stalking with its light source remaining over these apartment buildings, and it's clearly over the apartment buildings. Remember this. And the state is stalking with its light, okay? Reaching out, trying to touch with its light while third parties are crossing paths. Understand that this incredible occurrence is what third parties are very well much aware of. They are intentionally present and crossing paths at the same time that this, which is never occurring from any sunlight, this which is an ongoing pattern no matter where I go, and at the same time that I'm engaged in an activity. Here is a psychopath giving you a sample: 7WYA966. So this vehicle is a blue Corolla. As she is crossing paths with knowledge of what I am speaking, with knowledge of the ongoing presence of what is impossible light activity. That's why she's moving her vehicle, crossing path for purposes of relevant positioning. She's group stalking. And while she does so, as she is driving she just went around in a circle at the turn circle. She engaged in patrolling. But while she is on Lemon and she drives crossing paths, she is driving north. As she's driving north, a line of light in front of her car streaming onto the asphalt. Understand, that's impossible light activity, but that is also not what the state was engaged in. It was light appearing on the ground in front of me, reaching all the way across the sidewalk, in the same way that it's reaching across and spreading all across the little rounded shaded area. In the same way that I showed you that impossible light activity while that psychopath was getting in her car, quickly trying to put on her reverse lights, but she wasn't even sitting in the car all the way. That's what I showed you in the video. And this impossible light activity is shooting in front of her car as she is reversing, and it's all over the Wells Fargo wall, all over the ground, okay? It's the same conduct, all right? While the state's fake sun piercing over that building after being over the Ontario Lemon apartments, all right? That's what they're all doing. These are psychopaths engaged in the identical behavioral pattern. Inside of Ontario Ovid Family Library, while I'm in there uploading all this video and pictures of what is the state stalking with light and flying over and around by planes and helicopters, the pattern of conduct, federal group stalking and monitoring, they're monitoring inside of that venue, engaging in creating ongoing noise with simultaneity in the same way that these psychopaths are driving past with their cars and creating visible and audible activity while doing so. And the state is aiming light. The state kept its fake sun directly over the venue, and they are engaged in that, inside of that venue, they are engaged in what is surrounding with noise, all right? Even using their voices, using their little push carts, their book pushing carts, slamming them on the ground, coming up and down the elevator. They're stalking with activity. That's how they're doing it inside of that venue. While, mind you, a fake sun remains directly on top. I went in, I took that video at 10:30 a.m. and as I exited, you're talking about over 2 hours later, and it remains at the same location. All right. And this is ongoing documentation of what is already established as not the sun. They are monitoring inside, and that is what you're seeing on video while I am inside of that venue, subject to criminal group stalking and monitoring. And they are engaged in this identical behavior pattern, creating activity, stalking with activity in the means available inside of the library. All right. And as I step outside, the group stalkers remain in relevant position using their cars mostly as they are patrolling by. I captured an image of what is not rocket science. They surround by walking around on foot. The state is stalking with light. They maintain group presence, and they each represent that communication device whereby they are monitoring together. This is why you have this carnival of lights all over the place, including a fake sun over the same location for hours, and then it engages in rapid movement as I move, okay? That's a prosecution of the people of the state of California, and they are literally engaged in that which is direct evidence against themselves, all right? 5FG D056, also flying in another circle, driving in another circle just in front, just engaging in patrolling, while impossible light activity, which the state is aiming. The state aims more and or less while the psychopath is listening to me document its criminal activity, all right? The state is flying around by helicopter and airplanes. That's the state acting directly engaged in group stalking, all right? This is documentation of the third parties who are vicariously engaged in what is that of a psychopath, while all of this lights are ongoing, passing all around their cars and all around the environment around me while they are driving by. They're intentionally engaging in that conduct. It is that of a psychopath while they maintain real-time knowledge of what I'm doing on my communication device, which is the time in which they are crossing path, and this carnival of lights coexists with their presence, which happens to be the elements of monitoring. All right, while I am outside under the state's fake sun, a light source for criminal monitoring. All right, it is 1:03 p.m. and pay attention to the time-stamped images and the video that I post, because this is ongoing documentation of psychopaths such as 7KYD745, a sex offender engaged in monitoring. He looks like a sex offender. 8LUV659, monitoring with the rest of them, representing the vicarious entity that is monitoring and engaged in group stalking, that of a psychopath. And you're listening to real-time documentation of that psychopath acting as a group, a deliberate, intentional and malicious acting group. Okay, that is the absence of coincidence. Those are the elements of monitoring. That is what is federal group stalking and monitoring with communication devices, vicariously on behalf and in concert with that public entity that is already established as stalking directly by police, fire, and ambulance. Okay, by planes and helicopters. All right, that is while the state is stalking with a light source in the sky. Third parties engaged in that identical behavior pattern, maintaining group presence, psychopath level stalking, while stalking with light. All right, they are stalking with light as they are present as an entity, and this impossible light activity coexists. It's criminal facilitation of that conduct, and it is that which is highly demented. Third parties stalk with light, as I've demonstrated, as they line the path, keeping surrounded with light. All right, third parties are engaged in molestation right now while the state is present with the fake sun, and all they're doing is patrolling and creating activity. All right, this is the prosecution of the people of the state of California. This is that of a psychopath, and this is that which is group conduct. It's federal group stalking and monitoring, and it is demonic activity. All right, exercised, practiced diligently by the state of California. It's 1:05 p.m. and that is P.O.C. All right, I did just capture more video of the state acting directly under its fake sun and with the impossible light activity, prefacing everything that is ongoing. That is Ontario police present while the helicopter is circling around, engaged in the same identical behavioral pattern while impossible light activity coexists while, for example, 5SET 905 drives by. This is group stalking where the state is acting both directly and vicariously. This is the exact same pattern of conduct underway while the psychopath, mind you, is literally monitoring and aware of every word that I am uttering as I am uttering it. And as I finish recording my last excerpt of my podcast for today, which is federal group stalking and monitoring under ceaseless engagement, the state engages in audibly flying around, because it is always stalking via aircraft and in helicopter, flying over the same location where I captured it, flying over me this morning and yesterday and the day before that and the day before that, etc., etc. Will the police enter into this driveway, which is visible on the Wells Fargo camera, which is visible for the Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library. This is P.O.C. And there is no form whereby they're engaging in public, the public entity is engaged in monitoring with communication devices, and they're acting like they're doing something else. This is the pattern of conduct. This is the malicious system in operation. And that is the state appearing together by helicopter audibly and police driving in relevant position. Okay, that's the psychopath under a fake sun. That is the pattern of conduct, and that's what I just captured in video as well. It is currently 1:09 p.m. And again, like I said, pay crucial attention. Under the state's fake sun, the state is flying and amplifying the sound of helicopters, engaged in that same exact pattern of conduct, directly engaging in federal group stalking and monitoring, and entering into relevant position via police car, which in no way in any way removes attention and documentation of the third party by whom it is monitoring with all of these psychopaths in their vehicles while the state is remaining with a fake sun over the venue. That is the third party acting with the state directly. All right, and that is also highly incriminating. Group stalker in the Laverne parking lot in alignment to me where I'm standing. That is how extreme they are with regard to their stalking and keeping every angle manned, right, with light. I just want to focus on the facts. The fact is the state's fake sun remaining after I captured it at 10:30 a.m. So you're going to want to look at it. And then in addition to what everything I captured before that at 150 East Holt. All right. This is 6 ROW 462. And this is a third party acting with Ontario police representing the state crossing path. And that is all that is. That is highly incriminating to the people of the state, the vicarious entity monitoring in concert with the police. All right. While the helicopter is flying over creating audible activity. They're one group stalking together. All right, and this is acting with the police 6 DYT 574. All right, acting with the same entity that's flying over by helicopter that is stalking with a fake sun, by the way. That is, like I stated, present over the same exact location hours after I captured it at 10:30 in video. All right, and remember, it's acting as though it's migrating west over Lemon, which it would never be. Okay, just pay attention to the images because I have already recited how the impossibility of this. 8 JDU 954, and this is 7 ZTW 110, and this is the ongoing documentation of what are the people of the state of California who are psychopaths. They are sex offenders, and I'm documenting them engaged in this criminal system with the state vicariously. That depends on their presence, all right? They are engaged in criminal facilitation of monitoring, criminal facilitation of sexual violence as they target American citizens together. And the state's fake son directly incriminating the people of the state of California because the state, the public entity itself, is already prosecuted. It's already established as engaging in what is group stalking. I am documenting what is that which is practiced by the entirety of the state, the people that incorporated 7 RAV 444. All right, incorporating the state, acting with that entity. The entity indeed not able to do it without them. All right, and I'm showing the ongoing criminal elements and how they are acting deliberately and in concert and intentionally with that entity that's aiming light, that's stalking with the sun, a fake sun in the sky, that's stalking in concert with the police that are engaging in criminal facilitation, that are flying around in third-party airplanes over my head and over everywhere that I'm going. While they are engaging in this impossible light activity all over the place, which is never occurring under any circumstance, under any placement of the fake sun, by the way, or even if it was the actual sun. This is how you know what third parties are doing. This is how you know the role that they are playing with regard to what is monitoring via communication devices. It is the exposure of a system and the absence of coincidence. That is the pattern of conduct, and this is what I'm documenting. It's 1:12 p.m., and so you're going to want to note that because the state stalking with light is the prosecution of the people of the state of California. All right? This is direct evidence of it. It's 1:12 p.m., and I'm going to go ahead and get a picture again. The state behind me, visibly, because they're always stalking. They are always stalking, and this is the pattern of conduct. And the state stalking vicariously through all the people that I'm documenting by license plate. This is the state behind. And again, Ontario police arrive at the same time that the helicopter starts sounding. All right, that's monitoring for them. The light concentrating on me, the state adding audible activity via helicopter, and police in relevant position entering into the Wells Fargo parking lot while they are merely loitering in relevant position, and group stalkers are patrolling. This is group stalking by the direct and vicarious aspect of the entity. They're acting together right now. That's all that is. And visibly, because they're third parties that patrol, they're acting together when the police are hiding around in back corners and dark parking garages, et cetera, et cetera. You have the police that openly came out to be captured on video and to be mentioned specifically in my podcast, and is failing in any way to divert attention away from the federal group stalkers that are the people of the state of California. All right, that is in no way a diversion. What we're going to focus on is how this fake sun is moving to the opposite side of what is 280 Lemon Apartments, because the state is monitoring and because it is a psychopath just like the people of the state of California. It's on the opposite side of the same apartment buildings where I just captured it. And that's what I said to focus on. And this is in real time. You see me, I just took a picture. I'm speaking on my podcast, I'm recording, and I just stepped to the opposite side of the same apartment building where it remained on top of that apartment building. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take a picture of that. I took a few pictures of that. It's 1:14 p.m. Let me take a picture of where I was standing, which is over there. Okay, if the actual sun, this is common sense, but let me just, that position that I just took it at, in between the senior center and the backside of the 280 Lemon Apartments facing that parking lot, if this is where the sun was at, I would not be able to capture it from from where I just captured it, where I'm looking at Lemon, and the police are behind me as they are in the Wells Fargo parking lot. This is real-time movement of this light source. Understand, this is directly incriminating not only the police, all right? This is more evidence against them. Everything that the state is doing serves for the ongoing prosecution and prescription. Okay, this is demented conduct, and this is direct evidence of what is not a sun, and real-time stalking step by step as I move with a light source. Clear evidence of it, and that is exactly what I just captured. That's P.O.C. It's 1:15 p.m. and that's what I said focus on. Remember, it's at the corner, at the edge, right over the apartment building. as though the state is acting like it's the sun that's engaged in any migration west whatsoever, after bouncing all over the place this morning, everywhere that I went, including being over Wells Fargo and the amphitheater of So after it remains over that building, as soon as I move, it's on the back side. Now it's on the opposite side of the apartment where the parking lot is, the senior center is. And also in the morning, when I walk through this area, it's piercing over this same alleyway, over the senior center, all right? As though that is the place where the sun is going to be remaining all day. It will if I stay. It's not the sun, though. That's direct evidence of it. Okay, that's what the police are doing. That's what every third-party group stalker is doing. And guess what? We're going to document some more group stalkers that are monitoring through this light source. It's 1:16 p.m. That's what I just captured. Let's go. It is 1:16 p.m. All right, you can hear my luggage carry, you can hear everything. This is real-time documentation of what is absolutely impossible and in no way a sun directly prosecuting the people of the state of California, the entity acting vicariously in concert with the state that is monitoring via communication devices, which is why you have the state's fake sun right now over me at the Ontario Senior Center. I'll go ahead and take a picture of the senior center. This is where I'm standing. Let's take a picture of where I was over there at the end where the turn circle straight in front. These are mutually exclusive positions. This is clear migration as I am walking, and direct evidence not only against the police engaged in this ongoing stalking. They're always doing that. They literally just came out and visibly showed their face as the psychopath is listening to me talk about what is inevitable, what is already done, and this is ongoing direct evidence against the many people of the state of California. That's all it is, because the state is already prosecuted. So how do you prosecute an entire group that's engaged in criminal monitoring together? You understand what the universal facts are. The universal facts are that this fake sun is not both here over me at the city hall and here squarely at the corner of what was the edge of the apartments at 280 Lemon, where the police were behind me in the parking lot. It's very clear and distinct where I'm located. If the sun was over here at the city hall, my camera would have been facing the opposite direction, all right? And it wasn't. It was facing what is west, because the state was acting like the light source over the 280 Lemon apartments was moving gradually across Lemon. As soon as I walk what is east, this is the light source that is directly over the senior center, now directly over City Hall. Guess who's monitoring right now? They were monitoring before while I'm at 280 Lemon Apartments, but it's directly over the City Hall. Guess who is monitoring right now? Oh, we're gonna go document who's monitoring right now. That's what we're gonna do. Because this is why you stalk with a fake sun. And let me be clear about where I'm located at. I'm going to go ahead and take another picture because there is no mistake about where this light source is relative to where I am. Okay? All right, this is the parking lot of, I'm turning to what is my left. So I'm facing east, taking a picture of what is the parking lot of the City Hall, the Laverne parking lot. And to my right, which is where I was standing, which was C Street and Lemon, where the police were, Ontario police, engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring, loitering in relevant position, while the state's fake sun was at the edge of Lemon Avenue Apartments, right in front of me, while molesting with light. All right, that is the pattern of conduct, and this is real-time movement as I walk east into the depths of passing the City Hall and in between City Hall and the University of Laverne. Guess what? They're all monitoring. They are all monitoring. go ahead and document the license plates of third parties and the state who are who are engaged in criminal monitoring, excuse me. And this is why the state is concentrating light and moving in real time. 8LER 419, 7LDX 768, 8SKM 638, 7KYV 998, 8EJH 833, 7UJZ 410, 8TFH 926, F318 EO, 7VLK 539, 7SHM 937, DOE 022, which is a Nevada plate. It is currently 1:22 p.m. and so as I walk in the direction as I'm walking in the parking lot, I'm facing what is B Street, walking toward B Street in the parking lot, and I'm walking south, and the state's fake sun is directly over me. I want to take a picture of this. State's fake sun is directly over me as I'm facing now B Street. Understand that the light source that is squarely above the Ontario apartments, the Ontario Town Square, is separated by Lemon Avenue, and I captured it in video and pictures squarely over the corner of the apartments, right? This is license plate 7TUX 678. And I captured it squarely over the apartments. Understand where I am at. I am now having walked what is south. After walking through the plaza, actually I walked east as the state's light source remained directly above me as I walked east, leaving from Lemon Avenue, walking toward what is the Laverne and the City Hall. As I walk through those buildings and the state light source remains directly above me, it's what I'm capturing. So now in the parking lot, I am walking in this direction toward B Street, which is walking in this direction, and this parking lot would be walking south. So I'm just making sure I have my directions correct. So I'm walking on, what is the name of this street? I'm looking at B Street and Cherry. It's called the Ontario Civic Center. And understand, they're doing the exact same thing they were doing on Lemon. They're patrolling, making U-turns in front, stalking with light, having their hazard lights on. They're engaged in the identical behavioral pattern. Okay, while I am standing here at B Street and Cherry, City Hall, Senior Center, City Hall Annex, the identical behavior pattern with the state's fake sun, which is directly above me as I am on B Street and Cherry. So I just want to be clear, walking from the C Street and Lemon, that turn circle, as I walk in that direction, I'm walking east, okay? I want to make sure I'm correctly stating the direction that I'm walking. I'm walking east. Light source remaining directly above me. Leaving from the edge of Lemon Avenue Apartments, okay? Not over that area for me to capture it as I am walking, and it's over the Senior Center. All right, not in the same direction, not even I aim my camera back toward that direction. It is an entirely distinct, different direction, okay? And as I walk through this parking lot, and I'm documenting third parties engaged in P.O.C. while they are stalking with light, patrolling in the street, engaging in the same identical behavior pattern, understand the state has totally deviated from being over the Senior Center. It has, because I am walking south on Cherry through this Ontario Civic Center parking lot. It is directly over me at B Street and Cherry. So I walked east and now I'm walking south through that parking lot, and this is nowhere near being over 280 Lemon Apartments. That's my underlying point. I am facing Ontario Town Square Apartments, and it is directly in front of me. Understand, when I am walking on Hope Boulevard, the state's fake sun is on the opposite side of these apartments across the street over that plaza. Let me capture it right. This is the state keeping its light source relative to my position over me. All right, so it is 1:26 p.m. and this is the state's light source over me. This is Ontario Town Square. I'll take a picture of the sign. This is Cherry and B Street. And this is the Ontario Civic Center. This is the parking lot of the City Hall, the Senior Center. Again, on the opposite side of this, that's where that parking lot is that I referenced, where I'm sitting at the back of the 280 Lemon Apartments, where the state's fake sun moved. And then as I continue walking east, it's over the Senior Center. I continue walking east, it's directly over City Hall. I walk through this parking lot, I walk south, it's squarely in front of me at the intersection of Cherry and B Street. Understand how that is an abrupt depart. The state is an abrupt departure from being over 280 Lemon Apartments. They do not coexist, and this is minutes apart, okay? This is real-time documentation of what is stalking with light. I want to go ahead and take a picture. I've taken a picture of the state's fake sun directly above me. I'm going to go ahead and stay here because it's squarely above me, and I'm going to take a picture of the opposite direction where the state's fake sun is nowhere present over there. All right. Now I am facing the direction where the state's light source was over the 280 Lemon Apartments. I'm facing, as I'm standing at the corner of B Street and Cherry, I am facing as I stand at this intersection, this corner on the sidewalk, I am facing the 280 Lemon Apartments parking lot. I'm facing where the Senior Center is. I'm facing that direction where the light source would be visible, were it in that location where I directly captured it as I stood there, okay? It is in video and in picture squarely above me, okay? It is nowhere in that location whatsoever. I'm going to literally face what is B Street, point my camera up and show you how it is directly above me right now, which is Ontario Town Square. I'm looking at apartment number 362. I'll go ahead and take a picture. This is apartment number 362. And these are license plates of third parties who are in relevant position. I can document them as well. License 8KZG835 parked in front of 362, where this fake sun is over at this apartment complex. This is a third party intentionally crossing path. This is license plate 5ZSR720. All right. This is City of Ontario, Financial Services, Human Resources. Guess what they're doing? They're monitoring. All right. They are monitoring. This is why you stalk with a light source. License plate 7DHJ256, license in a California exempt with impossible light activity all around it, 1589380, in a white Ford Explorer. Monitoring. It is 1:29 p.m. And that is a grand departure from being at the corner of Lemon and C Street at the turn circle, where the state's fake sun is captured clearly above the edge, remaining for hours over that same apartment building at 280 Lemon, and remaining for that prolonged period while I'm there. And as soon as I move, this is a grand departure. This is in no way similar whatsoever. And this is the same with all of my documentation. All right, that is the pattern of conduct. Why are you stalking with light? Because you're monitoring with communication devices on a massive scale. And I am showing you that it does not matter what uniform you wear or what job you're performing. It is federal group stalking and monitoring that the state of California is engaged in systematically. That's why they're stalking with light. All right, and these are state facilitating venues, by the way. This is the City Hall. Guess what they're doing? They're monitoring. The state's fake sun is over this venue. All right, the concentration of light serves for criminal monitoring. This is where the state's, I believe the fire department is back here, University of Laverne. They're monitoring. 8KWX152, 8GAR949, 8Y12276, 7NSM311, 91144N2, 56088M2, 7XXC307. And I read that license plate already. The official city vehicles whereby they are monitoring in them. 8MJU240, 5MTP087, 8PQT041. 7KAB 460, 8MEP013, 7WBT129, CHARLI, 7PJR118, It's currently 1:31 p.m. I don't know if I read 8KWX152, 8GAR949. Not sure, but I'm going to read that again. 7WDE590. 6YTN684, 4RSX649. Let's see. What is that? It's like a little terrain over here. So 8MNH335. And this is 8BGJ313. Crossing path again. He was crossing path at the where the fake sun was over me in front of the Lemon Apartments, all right? And you're talking about intentional presence. The same thing with City of Ontario. They're creeping in the Laverne parking lot. Group stalking, all right? Psychopaths, driving a City of Ontario vehicle. Psychopath, crossing path again. Well, actually, they're both repeat psychopath stalkers. City of Ontario uses all of its vehicles to engage in monitoring. They are one entity, all right? A company representing the City of Ontario that's engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring. That's what the documentation represents. And that individual engaged in repeat crossing a path, it's intentional presence. So you're literally talking about group stalking from place to place. All right, the system is such that the different faces engaging in the same conduct, which is how the state seeks to conceal the fact that it is stalking because it is monitoring you. That's the existence of the system. This is why you use the people of that state as opposed to just Sally Joe. Sally Joe is readily identifiable, so you're not going to just use Sally Joe. You're going to use all the people of the state that live in the same state as Sally Joe. That way it's not readily identifiable as stalking by Sally Joe. And the reason why, again, why are they stalking? Because they're monitoring. And how is it stalking? Because the state of California is monitoring, and it is monitoring through the group presence of the people of that state. Everybody in your path is present on behalf of that public entity that is stalking because it's monitoring you. Hence, group stalking and monitoring. That's the vicarious aspect. That's the vicarious actor, the people of the state of California, who, by the way, are intentionally maintaining this presence. They are not coincidentally in your path. They are not merely driving by. They are not merely sitting around in their cars or merely in a drive-through. They are intentionally maintaining presence, and it is the same thing for any place that they claim that they work or any business that they claim to be providing. Understand, the state of California has made itself present through them vicariously. So there is no claim. It is legally irrelevant. This is a system operated by the government. And not only is that the intent imputed to every third party, the people of the state of California, it is not that which is in any way, it's also not relevant what a third party will claim as far as where they live or what or job they're doing or wherever they work. Where monitoring is underway and the target individual is there, because third parties are engaged in malicious conduct. This is the absence of ignorance. It is entirely intentional and malicious activity that the people of the state of California are engaged in. And the pattern of conduct is what is consistently revealing that. And so by that, they are engaged in what is formally the convenience of being able to monitor while you walk into the bank. All right, while I was going to Chase Bank, for example, they were all monitoring. Okay, I am subject to criminal monitoring. They are on their job, so I am driving to where they work in order to conduct my business with my bank account at Chase Bank. So while I am there, they are in relevant position, they are monitoring, and they're doing so while they're on the clock at work. And that is no legal excuse whatsoever. The state has made itself present through their vicarious presence in my path, and they have the quote-unquote convenience, and now it is not convenient, it is detriment, because you are speaking to that which are the criminal elements of monitoring and a public entity that has made itself present through them for that purpose of being universally surrounded at all times while you are at work. And by the way, you are intentionally engaging and monitoring occurring in concert with that public entity, while you are engaged in the identical behavioral pattern while you're at work, all right? It is P.O.C. and there is no claim, there is no exception whatsoever. You're showing how it is an entirely criminal system whereby psychopaths are engaged in group conduct. And let me get the psychopath that's running over to their car as they know that I'm over here documenting in the Honda Civic. Looks like a black female, license plate 8TMG843, creating light activity as she hops into her car. All right, while I am speaking to what is the legal analysis for criminal monitoring. 6YLP140. Can't see that one. 6HFT479. This is license plate, in case I didn't see it, 5ZSR720. And that is exactly what I'm talking about. You have one that happens to be hopping into her car to sit in her car and be on her phone and turn on her headlights under a fake sun that is migrating over the parking lot while I'm in relevant position. That's the behavioral pattern, all right? That's P.O.C. That is 8MNH335, in case I did not see. I think I said that one already, though. So 4ZTM434. 5MDG249, 6CGY500, 8GYE330, 8N41036, 5PRR201, 7NFY696, 6SCZ923, 7ZIZ152, 6RDU998, 8DCW057, 6JQB005, 8NRC159, 7FMZ931, 5VYS751, 8HRJ729. This is a paper license plate AW40P10. And the VIN number on that is 3GTU9FEL 3MG134483. This is license 8UHB323, 7WGL106. This is 7WSK349, 6T82456. 5ZKV174, 7LCZ701, 5VKW522. Let me check myself really quick. I have walked what is C Street in Sultana. So on C Street, I am walking east. 5VKW522, yeah, that's correct. 8KDJ595. It is currently 1:39 p.m. Oh, and I have to capture what is the state's fake sun, which is now, as I stand, at Sultana and C Street. All right, after remaining over the and guess what? It's directly over the fire department. It's moved from being at the city hall. This is Group Stalker over here. 21021W1, Group Stalker 6UYR142. Man in the path as I use my phone specifically to take a picture. And the state's fake sun, by the way, is not over Holt Boulevard as it's remaining over my shoulder as I walk east on Holt Boulevard, right? As I capture it as I walk past B&G Plaza, as I walk past Sultana and Holt Boulevard, and as I captured in documentation, it remains over the Cardenas, it remains over as I continue walking down the street, for example, the Dollar General, it remains on that because I am not on Holt Boulevard. I am what is north of Holt Boulevard. I'm on C Street, inside of what is the plaza area of Ontario, incorporating the City Hall, the Fire Department, the University of La Verne, and the City Hall and the library and whatnot. This is why you have the light source that is not over Holt Boulevard. Okay, if this was the location, this is the same documentation that is all related. As I walk east on Holt Boulevard, where is the state's fake sun? It is remaining over my shoulder on the right side. Okay, so it is south of me, remaining directly squarely above me, impossible, while I am literally traveling east, okay, remaining the entire time. And as I travel south, going to 435 South Bondsview, for example, it remains directly over me, right? This is in conflict with that as well. If I was on Holt Boulevard, the state's fake sun is over this parking lot, it would be to my left. Okay, it is squarely over, and that's what I captured with the Ontario Town Square Apartments. It is squarely over where I am standing in front of the apartment building directly above me as I am engaged in real-time movement. Not even in conformity to as where I'm walking east on Holt Boulevard, and the state is stalking with this light source remaining on my right side as I walk east. That's the same thing it did as I was walking from Ontario Village Shopping Plaza. Recall my documentation, and it remained over Panda Walk all day long, and then it literally moved around as I captured it in video and pictures in that parking lot, and then remained for hours over Panda Walk, and then as I walk east on Holt Boulevard, the state's fake sun remaining on the right side, remaining to my right, that is south of me, directly above me. I'm capturing it as it is over the apartments at Vine and Holt Boulevard. As I'm referencing it, I'm referencing the fact that it is engaged in real-time movement. I capture it over 123 Holt Boulevard at Laurel. That's the United States Postal Service. It is directly over me, creeping in between the buildings. All right, it is piercing through that little gap between the buildings in order to aim light, remaining directly above me on the east side of the street. While I am walking east on Holt Boulevard. Okay, this is a group stalker with license plate 8L. 8AJX588. And the state's fake sun remained on my what is the right, which is as I'm walking east, it's staying south of me, directly above me. All right, I am on the north side of Holt Boulevard. I am north of Holt Boulevard, and so as I am inside of this plaza, the state's fake sun is engaged in the same, staying on my right side, right? But understand, relative to where I am on Holt Boulevard, it is on the opposite side. If I was on Holt Boulevard and the state and the light source was over here, because it's directly over the parking lot. Let me take another picture of it because it is not over B&G Plaza right now. It is over me as I stand here facing this parking lot, and this is where it's at. And this is not in conformity also. This is everything. I'm just pointing out how all the facts are related and what you are witnessing. I would be taking a picture of what is the light source directly above the fire department. It would be, in other words, to my left. License plate 1602154, City of Ontario, group stalking with the other third parties that are patrolling on Sultana, driving north. So you have me standing here at this parking lot, and the state's fake sun is over this parking lot after being directly over me at the Ontario Town Square Apartments home as I stood at Cherry and B Street. All right, and understand, if I'm on Holt Boulevard, the state's fake sun is on the opposite side of the street. Okay, this is why I'm taking a picture of what is B&G Plaza while I am at this area right here. The B&G Plaza, Shiro's Liquor at 410 East Holt is before this intersection of Sultana and Holt Boulevard. I am standing at C Street and Sultana. Understand, the state's fake sun is where? As I always capture it, on my right side, which is south, directly over that parking lot, and the state's fake sun is nowhere near over there right now. Standing at B&G Plaza, standing at Holt Boulevard, I will be taking a picture from the opposite side, not facing south, taking a picture of the state's fake sun moving up and down inside of that plaza as I moving from the corner of B&G Plaza at Clinica Medica over to Andy's Burgers as I walk up and down Holt Boulevard. This is the opposite side, all right? I would be taking a picture of what is Ontario Town Square Apartments on the opposite side of the street. This is not that. All right, this is also, understand what you are witnessing. This is the pattern of conduct of stalking with light. It is directly incriminating the people of the state of California. And as the psychopath listens to me document its criminal activity, engaged in more of the same. I believe I read that license plate 8 UHB 323. City of Ontario engaged in the P.O.C. Let me give you a picture of that. The same exact stalking with conduct as I am at another intersection, City of Ontario in alignment, using their vehicle to create light. This is what UTILIQUEST was engaged in, remaining at the Wells Fargo area. This is what UPS was engaged in, loitering in front of the 280 apartments, creating audible activity and light activity. This is what the state is engaged in, stalking with a fake sun, okay? It is the entirely demented pattern of conduct of monitoring with communication devices, using the means of the train to amplify audible activity. All right, so let me make sure I got that license plate. 7LZM146. ZELEGIT. They are not legit whatsoever. Ain't you? I got that license plate already. And I got that license plate already. Looks like those are all. Understand what that is? That's amplification of audible activity under the state's fake sun, which is steadily moving, remaining above me as I walk. City of Ontario stalking on the street in front of me with a dumpster truck, a City of Ontario vehicle, all right, as I'm moving in the parking lot. Stalking with light. License plate 7CPU882. 7WHE255. 3STAR12, 7UHC044, 7RWA034. This is 8RYW715, 8DXH939, 37860X1, in case I didn't say that one. And it is 1:48 p.m. Let me show you something. All right, I did just capture in video the state's light source as it moved from being over the parking lot nearest the tall, thick white pole in the middle of that parking lot. What I captured as I stood there at that location that parking lot that encompassed the fire department, the University of Laverne is on the opposite side of that street. That is what I took a picture of in the state's fake sun, moving from that clear location to being directly over the building of what is Laverne University School of Law, where they are in relevant position. This is why the state is stalking with a light source. 5R87720, 7TUN215, 6X01920. This is the state moving its light source in real time as I move. All right, this is P.O.C. And as I walk up I believe this is D Street, and you have the state's fake sun over here. Now I want to go ahead and take another picture of this because this serves for. This is license plate 8MBH918. They're all patrolling, just monitoring away. And this is why you have this light source directly above me. 8KOY589. And understand the picture that I just took right now at 1:52 p.m. license 7NAN868 is also showing the real-time movement as I am in the parking lot and I'm looking at the front of the Laverne Law School. You have it over the edge of it. Understand that this is migration, which would be west over the building as I engage in moving from that location at the front of the building in the parking lot and walking on the sidewalk on D Street. All right, this is ongoing migration. That's what you're looking at. 7ZXU348, sitting in the vehicle, group stalking. Okay, the same conduct, 97027Z1. Already sitting in the car, starts the ignition, all right? Audible activity. This is SoCal Gas that is sitting out here on the sidewalk of University of Laverne, sitting in their vehicle. This is vehicle number 3606. SoCal Gas, I don't see a, I'd like to read a California license number. I don't see one. But the license plate is 97027Z1, all right? And they're just remaining sitting in their car the entire time as I am documenting what is the pattern of conduct, and that is the pattern of conduct. 8 PDX 911, 7K 92015. So this is ongoing real-time movement of the light source, as it is clearly in different locations. And you have the state that is engaged in what is stalking with light, because it's monitoring with communication devices. And as I took a picture already of what was west of me, as I walked east through the plaza, I'm referring to the plaza that incorporates the senior center, the library, the City Hall, and the law school. This is it's an ongoing plaza area. And as I walk through the center of it, meaning leaving 280 apartments, with that shaded area, that's the sidewalk where the state was aiming light, 7M PB 160, and 8 EGL 817, where the state was aiming light onto the sidewalk as third parties drive by, and the state's fake sun was captured at the edge of that apartment building over Lemon. As I stood at that turn circle of C Street and Lemon. This is the state's light source, again, moving what is east, nowhere in comparison whatsoever to being captured directly over the apartments and moving distinctly to being over the Ontario Town Square apartments. That is a very vast departure from, that's in no way even similar. There is no argument whatsoever saying that you're looking at the same thing. This is real-time movement of this light source that is hovering over and moving in real time as I move, and I'm capturing literally different areas and holding my camera up as it remains directly over me as I move around. Being over me at the fire department parking lot that is in between the City Hall, that is distinctly different. That is nowhere near, as I am standing at the turn circle on C Street, and I am aiming my camera up as this light source is directly over the edge of that apartment building, 280 Lemon Apartments. That is in no way whatsoever similar, and this is movement within moments as I just walk through the plaza, down the sidewalk, past the City Hall, past the Senior Center, and that is the ongoing criminal conduct. And as I'm walking on the sidewalk, now on D Street, the light source is just going back up the street, meaning it is moving west as after it stays above me and migrates east. Okay, this is what 6TPH 419 8TP, I can't really see the rest of that license plate, but this is what they are doing. They are monitoring. They're just crossing paths and patrolling under a fake sun. 8RQF 509, relevant positioning, maintaining presence, not a coincidence, under a light source provided for their presence and the creation of ongoing light activity and audible activity as they patrol past. All right, ROD E57, can't really see that plate that well, but this Honda Civic is parking in front of what is 307 D Street. Understand, these private residents, they're all monitoring. I can literally go through and read off their license plates to identify them. 8 BES 349, because that's what they're doing. And understand, this third-party group stalker in her blue Honda Civic, the license plate I already read, while she is parking, understand what she's doing. She's pacing back and forth, driving forward and backwards and forward and backwards and forward and backwards, literally that many times, right? Nobody knows how to park when they're monitoring. They're engaging in relevant positioning. All right, that is 4YDS813, while she is pacing back and forth in a vehicle. The same thing as walking back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. The same thing as walking in a circle around you. It's crossing a path. It's keeping your path surrounded. Under, by the way, the light source. That's P.O.C. And that is a group stalker. And that is the absence of coincidence. That is a behavioral pattern. This is Plum and D Street, where I'm at. I just want to go ahead and take a picture of this. You have group stalkers that are monitoring in relevant position, cheese, take a picture, while they're standing in relevant position under the state's light source. These are psychopaths engaged in that pattern of conduct, and this is how the state engages in that POC through that sort of form. I want to take a picture of what is at 1:58 p.m. as I'm standing on the opposite side of the University of Laverne. There is no sun over this building whatsoever. All right, there is no sun. I'll take a picture of it. It was over the front of the building, by the way, as I stood in the parking lot facing it. This is the state's fake sun, which is over now Page 1 Cafe over Plum and what is this? The parking lot of the Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library, essentially. Understand that this is not even being close to 280 Lemon Avenue because I have moved to a different location. Again, the light source is remaining present. I'm going to go ahead and capture this in video. It's 1:58 p.m. All right, it is 2 p.m. and I did capture that video just to show the ongoing movement of that light source going from being over the senior center. Understand the pictures that I'm taking as I'm facing the senior center is not behind me over the Ontario Ovitt Family Library. This is what you're comparing. While 4 CUF 364 is crossing paths with every other third-party group stalker. This is systematic monitoring as the state's fake sun has moved and is not at the same location as I stood inside of the plaza, walking east, passing the senior center, facing the senior center, facing the city hall, taking what was the pictures of the state's fake sun, all right? And it is now, as I am at D Street, directly over me. Wow, third-party group stalker, 909 FBY, crosses path. That's an out-of-state plate, okay? So that is the ongoing stalking with light. If the state's fake sun was at this position, I would not have been facing the city hall, all right? I was facing the senior center. I was facing the city hall because that is where the state's light source was. That was facing what is south. The state's fake sun is now, if were I at that same position, I would be facing the opposite direction, meaning facing north to take a picture of this light source as it is directly above me. And right now at 2:02, I'm going to take another picture. What I took a picture of what are third-party group stalkers. And guess how they are maintaining relevant position? They're taking a picture, and while they take a good gander at all the pictures that they're taking, they're holding up their phones in relevant position as the state's fake sun is remaining over this location, in direct conflict with where it was as I stood at the same building, which is across this field. Across this field is City Hall. The state's fake sun is on the opposite side of that City Hall. It is, I'm going to actually want to go ahead and take a picture rather than try to describe it, but it is on what is the light source is north of City Hall, whereas where I took a picture of it, it was directly above the City Hall. You do not see in my picture my facing what is D Street, all right? You do not see me facing what is Plum. This is the light source moving north as I am now at D Street, and this is stalking literally as I move around inside of the, move around the area, again, walking around the perimeter of the plaza. And that is, I just took a picture of what is the City Hall, and you can compare that because this is the state's fake sun, which is right here. And this is over the parking lot of the, looking directly, this is the Page 1 Cafe, which is incorporated into the Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library. And again, if the state's fake sun, if the light source rather, if the sun was actually present over what is City Hall, then my body would have been facing the opposite direction in order for it to be here, as I am capturing it at Page 1 over the cafe. Same thing with the senior center. As I faced what was the senior center and the state's light source was over that location, as I was facing, my body was facing what is south, not facing north, okay? I would be facing north, and those pictures would incorporate, and I would be speaking to what is the state's fake sun being over the library and being over Page 1, as opposed to being over what I captured, the senior center and the City Hall, after being over the corner of what is 280 Lemon Apartments, all right? That's what you're looking at in the pictures. That's the significance of it, and that's more real-time ongoing stalking with light as third parties, such as this one, 8 BKV 383, stalkers, just driving past, they're just patrolling, meaning they are repeatedly just driving past and crossing the path of the target individual while the state is providing that light source. This is the exact same thing that they're doing at all hours. At nighttime, they have on their headlights where there is no fake sun, and they are maintaining that same group presence, stalking. All right, that's the psychopath that is engaged in that identical behavioral pattern together. All right, that is what this third-party group stalker in the blue Civic that was pacing back and forth. And how is she pacing back and forth in the vehicle? Via parking her car, going forward and backwards and forward and backwards and forward and backwards. 78 JHR 944 and 7 PEH 331. And this is while, mind you, the incredible ongoing occurrence of what is a light source remaining squarely above me as I move. And by the way, this is just the comparison of the immediate environment, okay? This is not speaking to, even though it is directly relevant, I'm showing you what is the significance of what you're comparing, what you are witnessing, because it is in conflict with every single location where the state has placed its light source, where, mind you, third parties also happen to be present while that light source is present over me, over the venue, and impossible light activity also coinciding with the presence of the third parties and the state who are engaged in group stalking. That's P.O.C. And this is just speaking to that, which is ongoing impossible migration of a light source in the sky that is not the sun, that is engaged in literally meandering around in the sky in all manner of direction as I take you on a tour of what is stalking with light. All right, because group stalkers driving around in their SoCal gas vehicles, driving around in Omnitrans buses, driving around in UPS vehicles, driving around in FedEx vehicles, in Amazon Prime vehicles, driving around in UtiliQuest vehicles, driving around in their own vehicles, and engaging in such as 7 UAX 134, impossible light activity now moving underneath the tree as I'm standing under the shade, light moving underneath the shade. That's the pattern of conduct. They are sex offenders and they're psychopaths, and that's the absence of coincidence. All right, that's federal group stalking and monitoring. 7 RAV 444, engaging crossing path for the third documented time of record. That is intentional presence by a third-party group stalker. The psychopath, mind you, that also knows that it's being documented. Okay, this is P.O.C. It is currently 2:06 p.m. So I'm gonna go ahead and take where I am right now. 2:07 p.m. I already took a picture of this, but I just want to go ahead because I'm honing in on this. What is real-time migration? This is the state's. This is the absence of the light source over Laverne as I am on D Street, right? This is the light source that's supposed to be the sun. If it's over the building, I would be able to capture it as I am standing still in relative position to the building. This building is not so tall such that you cannot see the sun, which was hovering over, by the way, the top of that building. It was not super duper high in the sky. This is the absence of the sun over that building, and this is the light source over here as I am facing what is the opposite direction. Whereas where I am in the parking lot and facing that on the law school in the parking lot, you have it squarely above what is literally over me as I am at the entrance area and documenting the third party license plate in that parking lot of the University of Laverne. That is very rapid movement of a light source, and that is movement of a light source in all manner of direction. That is also at a low hovering elevation. Okay, this is not the sun whatsoever. It is literally moving as I move, and that is the significance of what I'm documenting. This is Laverne. Understand they're monitoring just like any other venue, and they are engaging in the same state system. ITQCH1. That is, it's 2:08 p.m. And at this time on, it's 2:08 p.m. and at this time on January 14th, I believe, where I documented the state's light source. Let me get this license plate. 8RFW871, impossible light activity as they're driving by. Group stalkers monitoring. There is no driving by where any of this light activity occurs. 7HAK284, they're group stalking. This is the P.O.C. This is 8HCG390. All right, light flashing across the cars as they're driving by. That's the pattern of conduct. 7RBX 306. 49926L2. All right, 8F64289. There is no position of the sun whatsoever, nor is the state's fake sun position that which is creating lighting through. The state is aiming light all over the surfaces at the same time that these third-party group stalkers are intentionally crossing path, maintaining presence in the path, especially as I move, as I use my communication device. I want to go ahead and take a picture of what is on D Street. It's right up here at Euclid Avenue where I'm facing. The state's fake sun was directly over that bus stop. Okay, that is the absence of that, all right? This is P.O.C. The state's fake sun, as I stated, license plate 6ETH325 is right here over me as I am on D Street, and I am facing what is the Page 1 Cafe. All right, that's P.O.C. license 8SV307, substantially similar, 6JCE907. All right, that's P.O.C. And again, this is ongoing documentation of the same. It's I'm giving you examples of immediate, my most recently published documentation. This is related to the entirety of the picture, everything that has already been documented. 8RBX902, I believe, substantially similar. This is that which is documentation of a state monitoring with communication devices in concert with these psychopaths who are intentionally crossing path. They're intentionally driving past while light is appearing, which is never occurring naturally. While, mind you, documentation proving and establishing that the state is literally stalking with a light source, because it's not the sun, and this is not seeking to prove that. That is already a readily identifiable scientific fact. 5KKW471, 741, I can't really see that one, sorry. AW85P44, a Sentra, not brand new, criminal obstruction of justice trying to conceal their identity, all right, with a paper plate. 5SKF213, 7EKL416. It's 2:11 p.m. That's audible activity occurring as I'm swiping my screen. These are the psychopaths that I'm documenting. She was patrolling in a red PT Cruiser at the corner, creating light activity. Now she's stalking with activity using her voice, hollering as I'm swiping my screen. All right, this is how third parties engage. It's like taking a picture in relevant position. 7MSP653. 8PKF373, like posing, taking pictures in relevant position under the state's light source while they are engaged in what is malicious psychopath level stalking and monitoring with communication devices. All right, it is the same exact intentional conduct. That's how third parties engage in P.O.C. Most of them. Many of them, as I've documented, are not so good at the passive aggressive stalking, which characterizes third party conduct. 5R KW032, 4VNN799, which is also, by the way, another indication of that which is psychopath. They are psychopaths engaging in this entirely intentional malicious system. That's a psychopath. 8C90567, 7SRW499, 7CVD980, 7CTC046, 7PPY391, 8JDG788, 73658J1. Omnitrans Route 87 is driving east on D Street right now in relevant position, referencing their security cameras because they are monitoring under the state's fake suns. P.O.C. license plate 1545907. P.O.C. All right, that's bus number 2363. That is currently 2:14 p.m. 8TTU561. 5YSB 230-8SIR-789, 8PKG-167. All right, and as these psychopaths cross paths in their cars, light flashing. All right, psychopaths. Just it's the same exact pattern of conduct. So this is the entity acting vicariously, intentionally maintaining presence. License plate 8THW974, 8N70585. It's 2:15 p.m. And understand that also the state's, like I said, it is all related. I'm just pointing out what common sense dictates. The state's fake sun is right here over this field, over what is the Page One Cafe, the parking lot of the back side of the parking lot of the Laverne University School of Law, which is across the street from the Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library. Understand that that is not being over Ontario Town Square. That is not in any way going to occur after being over those apartments, 8 DIL 554, using that company vehicle to group stalk and monitor. This is 8 SYB 979, 8 GAU 102, 7 MYD 458, 7 MSL 886, at all whatsoever. Being over 280 limit apartments, 57ZH 899, I believe. Is in no way whatsoever going to be followed by being over the backside of the Ontario Ovitt Family Library, over the Page One Cafe, being over the University of Laverne. If you are in any way trying to replicate the behavior of the sun, which the state is, okay? In addition to stalking, it engages in, and that's why I call it an abysmal fail. After it remains all day long wherever I am, and remaining at the same location if I remain, or remaining moving all over the place, then it engages in acting like it's moving to the west setting. All right, 7 RUC 429. This is even as I showed on January 14th, after it remained at D in Euclid, when I go inside of the library for an hour at about around 3:30 p.m., within an hour, all of a sudden, after remaining all day long at the same intersection, 7 MEF 356, and that it did. That's what my documentation shows. Remain there all day long. 8 LPK 033, 7 7SFT 575, 7G JH 212, I believe, substantially similar. Remaining over that intersection all day long, then acting as though feigning some sun setting. All right, as it is remaining, keeping light at the same exact venue where I am. All right, so after its present all day long across the field over me at D and Euclid, it's aiming light an hour later after making an abrupt departure from that corner to what is being essentially over Wells Fargo, aiming light squarely into Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library. 5M 42080. 8U 70995, 7WFA 199. So the state is engaged in trying to, and failing, abysmally failing, because it's just a stalker. It's a psychopath. It is a stalker. And so it's not, you're talking about that which is not rational, okay? It's an obsessive level, and this is demented conduct. That's what this is revealing. 8HLP 333, 6F LD 719, and it is seeking to, it does try, attempt, and fails to replicate the behavior of a sun by trying to act like it's setting. 7MYM 280, which common sense reveals, and just look at the pictures, just look at the video, and have any basic 5th grade knowledge of the sun, and actually also being aware of what is that as a matter of scientific fact of where the actual sun is. That's going to be a very bad day for the state. Anyway, in court. This is nothing. My point being is that so if you are over 280 limit apartments, which it is inevitably captured over 280 apartments, there's no guess, there's no estimation. It is squarely over and remaining there. And
as I walk around and now I'm at D Street, in no way does this result afterwards when you are seeking to act as though you are the actual sun, which is in constant movement from east to west. That was literally migration of the fake sun at C and Lemon, what was east as I walked through the plaza. And then as I walk on through the parking lot of Cherry and B Street, that is me walking south on Cherry at the intersection of B Street, okay? And then I'm walking north again. It remains directly over me as I'm at the parking lot documenting group stalkers license plates at the fire. That's the fire station, the City Hall, 1416308, and that is movement. East, south, north, east, and then north again, 7 ROS 912. My point is that this is migration remaining squarely above me. That is moving. It's 7 LRJ 940. I can't really see that one. That requires for me to capture it, and I'm capturing it, because it's remaining directly above me as I am moving in all those directions. This is requiring real time, okay, very rapid movement, first of all, and it is requiring movement in all manner of direction. All right, that is stalking with the light source, and under no circumstances whatsoever is not only, or we're not even going to, I'm past that this is not the sun. This is already established. That's not a mystery. And not only is it not the sun, 8 KYD 509, going from being what is west of this location where it is right now, there is no position, there is no argument where you can say, well, it's actually over the parking lot, over Laverne, while you're standing at the apartments at the corner of C Street. Let me get this one, 5 POX 878, while you're standing at the apartments of 280 Lemon, and so that's why you're getting what is the sun over you after you leave from in front of the corner of C Street and Lemon. And no, I don't think so. Not at all. If this was in fact the location of the sun, then I would have been facing the opposite direction. I would have been facing the opposite direction. 7 MWL 550. As I am very specific and detailed for a purpose, 8 GAS 935, as I stand on that sidewalk of what is Lemon, in between the library and the apartments, license 6FPW 986, and my person was facing the sidewalk, facing the apartments, meaning facing south, as I'm capturing the fake sun, 7 AUJ 546. I can't really see that one that clearly. That's a Mercedes SUV, black. If this in fact was the location of the true sun, and it's not actually moving backwards, meaning moving east, then I would have been facing the opposite direction. 8LEU 540, and in my picture you're clearly seeing what is the state's fake sun over the apartments as I am facing what is south, and it is sitting squarely at the edge, because what is behind me? Ontario Police. All right, and that is this fake sun is nowhere in that area. It's in the totally opposite direction. Totally opposite direction. 8JIW 484. 85353G2. Somewhere, can't really see that, but there is no following of this in this direction whatsoever. This is documentation of what is a clear psychopath engaging in what's supposed to be some secret monitoring system in the state of California, and these psychopaths in their cars, company vehicles and private vehicles, engaging in intentional presence. They are psychopaths together under a fake sun that they know is there, while they are maintaining group presence, while they're in their homes hollering, while they know that I am in relevant position and the state's light source is closer. They're monitoring, using their cars to do so, crossing paths while there's this ongoing carnival of lights. They're sex offenders. 7E GJ 752. They are psychopaths. Psychopaths. Highly abnormal. Highly abnormal. This is not only prosecution, this is prescription.
All right, you prosecute as many of the stalkers as you can, because this is how you document a public entity, just like you would any other stalker. There's just more of them. And there are those who you can get acting, not only is it attributed to the state, that third party group stalker shall also be isolated for federal prosecution, 8 NAZ 527. And you have what is the ongoing documentation of what is requiring a matter of prescription, okay? And I have done my due diligence in showing what is exactly the state is engaged in. And it is, not only is it stalking, this is not your ordinary stalker, and this is not ordinary stalking, all right? And why are they stalking in this manner? Because they are monitoring. All right. And it is an obsessive criminal system that is underway. And this requires severe mental issues. Severe mental issues. Nothing that requires or in any way eliminates criminal responsibility, because they are abiding by a specific code of criminal conduct in order to monitor. It is speaking to that which is demonstrating a high level of mental incapacity, psychopaths engaging in this obsessive presence while all this light activity in their presence maintains. 7 MVW 170, entirely malicious conduct, 7 RUC 429, that the state of California 8 CXJ 739 designed, whereby they can just do this, drive by like this psychopath, and 6 UKJ 605 and monitor in that way. All right, that's how they've been able to engage in it. 7 CLH 252. All right, out of their flipping minds. Out of their flipping minds. And the craziest ones are the third-party group stalkers whose name you know, okay, who you may be related to. 8FTY 902. I can't really see that one. That's a whole other level of crazy. Okay, and I am not in any way being hyperbolic. I am demonstrating what is clear disconnection of all the marbles. All the marbles are not there to be engaged in this level of criminal conduct amongst an entire group of people who you don't even know. And the system set it up, the state set it up such that you don't have to know them. They don't have to speak to you or address you. Here's a paper plate that's flapping in the wind. And they don't have to know you or address you. It's a criminal system that is operated by the state. All right. And the impetus are the very people that incorporate that state. Psychopaths that would participate in such a criminal system. 223 7 1D2, can't really see that one, 7 THN 383, and it's entirely intentional. 6 CSY 897, 8 CEG 854. That is why they are engaging in that behavioral pattern, the demonic feature of stalking with activity with simultaneity to your any movement or activity even on a phone. Okay, 7 BMZ 433, 7 PJY 511. This is how and why they are engaged in this crossing a path, being present, while also light is shooting all over the place in an impossible manner, never occurring under, even if that was actually the sun that is remaining over you everywhere that you go. This is entirely that of psychopaths. 7XDJ365, designed by the government, that is intent on criminally monitoring American citizens, and they are psychopaths in it together. All right, they are psychopaths in it together. You can monitor just by using your voice with simultaneity to your real-time knowledge of what that target individual is doing, while the state is setting that environment both directly and vicariously, stalking with the light source over that target individual, and third-party group stalking, psychopath sex offenders stalking with light as well. They are all in it together. Highly abnormal conduct, highly abnormal. You document them because you're prescribing as well. You're going to prescribe as well. 8CXJ 739, 5JLP 084, 8GLR 512. It's 2:28 p.m. Just want to speak just like you see in my pictures, just like I stated, just like common sense dictates as well. There is no time of day, there is no angle, there is no fashion of passing in any vehicle or anything actually that is going to result in the light activity that third parties engage in. This is routine procedure for monitoring. This is the pattern of conduct that they are engaged in. It is inherent. Sexual violence is inherent to what they do. This is also revealing that which is demonic conduct. Understand, demonic activity is just revealing that which is a matter of psychopaths, okay? This is 7JHV 285, all right? Demonic activity is that which is malicious. Malicious activity by psychopaths. The absence of coincidence. It is group conduct of a vast group, all right? That's the only difference. It's just that which is unprecedented because it's operated by a government, and the government is relying on the very people of that state who are engaged in every single element with it. 6 VAY 952. And so as to, with regard to the state's light source, it's 2:29 p.m. and I'm on D Street. And again, there is no light source. There is no sun over that intersection, which would be clearly seen as I'm standing on D Street. In between Cherry and what is Plum, there's no sun over there like I captured it on that day while I sat at that bus stop, and that fake sun remained over that bus hood, even aiming light under the bus hood because it's a sex offender, just like it did at the shaded area because it's a sex offender. And so is this one. Let's get this license plate, acting with it. 6 SOP 737. This is license plate 6 UVA 423. Routinely violating and physically touching and molesting while it's monitoring with its criminal instrument, that is its light that it's concentrating. 6ZEU 061. All right, and this is the absence of any light source, by the way. I was at the bus stop at Euclid in D Street. No light, no sun. 7 LAS 564. Not there, okay? Remaining here, behind, by the way, the apartment building. 7ZENH 650, 6PWZ 389, 8BML 570, 365YS. It's a handicap plate. It is 2:30 p.m. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a picture of that. Let's see. License plate 6YLT 861. It's 2:31 p.m. And that is P.O.C. What is this? 81507W1. Let me get these. 7AUG 274. 6CQE 940. They're just cockroaches. That's exactly what they're just cockroaches. Filthy things. 8DBZ 967. 2503083. Engaging in lawlessness. 7JLW 355. Filthy creatures. Filthy. 2:32 p.m. The system of federal group stalking and monitoring, by the way, is that which is essentially criminal facilitation of that criminal system by the people of the state of California and criminal facilitation of that system by the state of California. They are engaging in criminal facilitation together. It is entirely a criminal partnership. The people enable the government enables the people. 7KIZ 242. This is 7URT 995. All right, so this is after being captured over 280 Lemon Apartments, which is in no way going to come after follow if you're trying to act as though you're the sun and you're in constant movement from east to west. 8LBX 817. Even though it's a scientific fact, the sun is nowhere near this intersection. The sun is not physically over these buildings whatsoever. It's not. 8TCM 456. Nor does it have to be squarely over you. 6UKJ 605 in order for it to be day, okay? That is not what is required. The sun is a massive
BKB 773 and 8BKF 781. Touching with light. At the moment, the state thinks my phone is not recording. 8AWF 463, 8JSB 542, 7JSC 496. And that's what I mean by despicable, filthy creatures. That's exactly what I mean. And that's exactly what they engage in on a constant basis. This is also that which is inevitably exposed. It remains in perpetuity on the internet, what the state is engaged in and how it engages in it. And you have what is the absence of coincidence as that ongoing molestation with that which is never occurring under any circumstances by sunlight while a car is driving by you, okay? That is the system in operation, and they are equally psychopaths together in that endeavor. 7PDT 856, which serves to monitor with communication devices. You have group stalkers on foot, crossing path, concentrating on the communication devices under the same fake sun, under the same impossible light activity circumstances, creating light activity as they walk past under the state's fake sun. All right, 7HIZ 797, engaging in close quarters. That's walking past on the sidewalk. They're acting in concert in their cars with those who are on foot. They are one group. 8RJU 111. All right, 8JCA 095. And so what I want to capture is 5XLL 545. And I also want to capture what is current time. I did just capture video of the state's fake sun remaining on the remaining over me as I'm at Plum and D Street in between Cherry. That is license 4YDS 833 patrolling again. That group stalker already crossed path. It's intentional presence. So they're just having a good time stalking all day. 7HQV 956, 6CCY 452. All of them psychopaths engaging in group stalking, intentionally crossing path under the state's fake sun, which they know is present, while they are also aware impossible light activities coexisting with their presence. That's why they are passing to create this activity, because they're monitoring altogether. It's demonic activity that they are corporately engaged in. All right. This is the wicked engaged in highly demented psychopath level conduct of targeting American citizens. That's what they are engaged in. It's 2:38 p.m. And what I captured in video is, number one, a group stalker on foot. All right. Engaging in loitering just without a license plate hanging off of him. Literally stopping in his path, maintaining real-time knowledge of what I'm doing on my phone with simultaneity to my switching applications. He stops walking, right? Actively engaging in malicious conduct. This is a psychopath walking past like he's just strolling through, right? Like it's totally normal. Like normal conduct, going about your business. Let me get this stalker. 6 PJM 253. And this psychopath, I'll see you in court, 7 MGA 455. This one, engaging in walking past, he stops walking the moment that I start manipulating my phone, 7KSX 483. All right? That is real-time knowledge of what I am doing and maintaining presence in the path, okay? Doesn't want to go any farther, stops. The moment I start recording on camera, he doesn't turn his back. He doesn't look back at me. He knows exactly what I'm doing. He is focused on everything that I am doing. While, mind you, a fake sun is engaged in literally remaining over me in an impossible position, in no way able to be reconciled with the actual sun whatsoever. This is monitoring by the people of the state of California, 7316. 3Y2, and that's what I captured in the video. This group stalker on foot while they are patrolling, and I'm documenting their license plates. They are one group, okay? 8NQB 756. And there is also, I'm documenting because all of the facts are related. Group stalkers sitting in the parking lot of the Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library. They're just loitering in relevant position. All right. They are loitering in relevant position as a group. They're consistently crossing path. This is a legal analysis. The public entity is acting through them. They are maintaining group presence. They are stalking. They're loitering, maintaining presence, intentional for purposes of monitoring. 8JAK 705. All of them are documented as such. 8KWX 410. While, by the way, I also captured what is D in Euclid, where the bus stop is, 8MUD 071. 8KZH 552, which is directly up the street. All right. So if the sun was over me on that day, which it was captured squarely above me, okay, irrefutable evidence. 6RCH053. That is not what's occurring today at the same time. all right, where it remained there for hours, all right? And then the next day remained over for hours at the Ontario Town Square. This is not that either. 8S, FS, 721. That's a paper plate. 7HGE007. This is not that, not even similar, and that which cannot be reconciled. SOYDARX. Yeah, you are dark. That's true. This is license plate 7WCY682. That is the ongoing stalking with light, and so you're going to pay attention to, it's not just today, but you can see it in a matter of days worth. This is showing what the state of California is engaged in, how it's engaged in it, and stalking with light is one of the ways. License 1399980 Omnitrans, number 1266, crossing path on 5GNTN 633, sorry, crossing path on D Street, 5VMF 011. And the federal repercussions are such that where you're engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring with a public entity, which they are, guess what? Your timetable, or when you're driving past and you're on the bus that you're working for that bus line, and they're engaged in systematic monitoring, the state of California is able to monitor through your presence. Where, by the way, a fake sun is over the same street when you're crossing paths with that targeted individual. Guess what? Guess what federal prosecution cares about? Not your claiming that you're on the clock, okay, because this is the means by which a public entity is able to monitor you. The state is engaged in ongoing vicarious presence. These group stalkers that are grouping up on the street, on D Street, in the parking lot. This is a psychopath. This is a stalker right here. Dude got issues. 39424D2. He got straight up issues, and he just patrolled sitting on the curb in front of facing, and then he drives in front to the next red curb area where he is stalking with light. They're creating a barrier of light, all right? This is the same thing I show everywhere I go. It's the pattern of conduct. It's called stalking with light. The same thing that the state does with a fake sun. All right? That's the license plate that I just read. He's acting with a third-party group stalker. License plate 8LSA020, and that third party whose license plate that I documented orally as he was sitting in front of me and then drives up crossing path to sit right here on the opposite side of me, acting with this third party group stalker, sitting with their turn signal on, surrounding with light, S8TNBIT. This is the stalking with light conduct, and understand, as I turn on video, this third-party group stalker leaves after I've already recorded his presence via podcast, okay? But this is real-time knowledge, and that group stalker stalking with light, 6SYD047, just sitting at the curb with the turn signal on. That's light activity while they're sitting in alignment. That's what third parties do, all right? They are stalkers and psychopaths. 4WGB405, 8UJS658. All right, and that's what the entire group is engaged in. 7RHY603. 8ROR151. Alrighty, and understand why, as I move and concentrated light is not directed on to me, they are engaged in surrounding with light. This is what I mean by joint criminals conduct. It's totally a partnership, and they are psychopaths. 7VCB207. You don't have this conduct happening coincidentally everywhere you go. 8ATD 454, 4SYH 181, 8216 2D2, 7GQP 307, 7MVA 621, 7RPT 338, 8GHC 244, 6CAT 621, 6MCH 340. Excuse me. It is 2:47 p.m. 7VOX 617. All right, you got another group stalker pulled up across the curb. 34226K2. Understand they are one group. You have a different face engaging in the exact identical behavioral pattern. That's what federal group stalking and monitoring is. It is the state that is the entity that is stalking you vicariously and directly. 8GQX018, 7HIZ797, 8GNR608, 7NQM625, AU52X48, that's a paper plate, 7SED041, 5ZMP368, 5FBL421, 65304B2. This is just the state pacing back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. 8MHU887. They're lured they're inside of their house at 341 D Street, at 307 D Street, or is that 311? Looks like maybe that's 311 and 303. They're monitoring inside of their homes. 8TQA413, the state's fake sun, aimed directly on their homes. While I'm standing here, they're in relevant position. 6EZP248. 6BLY764. That's why the state aims light, all right? This is license plate. 7Z79647, because I didn't read that. 5JVC227. I think I might have read these. 8TDP781. And 8LWP574, just in case I didn't read those. This is, I'm facing, and again, those are not the only ones. Those are just the ones that I'm looking at, that I'm standing directly in front of, where the state is concentrating its light. And let's take another picture, because they are remaining. They are remaining as in group stalking, but the state's fake sun is remaining. It's 2:48 p.m. after being captured over the edge of what is AU9707, I believe, a paper plate, 7MPE646, 8GYH303. Five GGD 496, 5SXW 620, 5ZTJ 986. Alrighty. It is 2:50 p.m. and so on the traffic cameras at Euclid and Holt, you will see what is FedEx, and FedEx has been engaged in patrolling. I'm just identifying one which is readily identifiable. They are in relevant position. They are driving north and south on Euclid Avenue. They are patrolling and acting with these third parties that I am right in front of, documenting their license plates. This is ongoing documentation of what is monitoring, which spans beyond this street right here where I'm standing. They're monitoring with communication devices. FedEx is crossing path at 2:50 p.m. 7H43730, 7PEH471. It is intentional presence. Whatever vehicle you are driving, City of Ontario demonstrates that. 1416308, 4143. All right, that is license 6MNA083. And by City of Ontario, I mean the City of Ontario vehicles. That's the City of Ontario. All of their employees engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring, and they're doing so in their vehicles. All right, that's P.O.C. It is currently 2:51 p.m. And 8DTM662. And what I took a picture of is a third-party group stalker that is sitting in the parking lot and has been for a prolonged, just chilling in the parking lot with their headlights on. This is group stalking conduct. This is remaining in relevant positions. This is loitering in relevant positions. This is creating light in the path. And this is acting in concert with the third parties, for example, that I documented on both sides of me on D Street. One with their turn signal on while they are literally sitting stationary on the side of the street, doing nothing but monitoring in relevant position, creating light activity while doing so. And the other one that was parked in the red in the truck, and I read his license plate, and then he comes and parks in front of me and parks in the red, 7VFB. 373 6 BMA 516. And that was surrounding with light. And this one has been sitting in the parking lot, engaged in the same for a prolonged period. Headlights on, facing what is Laverne as I stand at D. She's sitting in the same position that the other one was sitting in, with their turn signal on, not turning anywhere, just creating light activity. Chilling in relevant position is what they're doing, acting with this group stalker whose license plate I dictated, already sitting in the parking lot for a prolonged period of time while I am documenting third-party group stalkers. And like I was stating, the state's fake sun has been over the same plaza all day long. All right, there is no argument for the state whatsoever. Even if you want to, which you would have to, completely disregard all of the documentation showing how it is real-time movement in all manner of direction, in conflict with 7RVX468, 6PQF 878, 7LSV358, and 7CNE 940, you would have to completely disregard all of the documentation, which is direct evidence of an impossible and unnatural, and basically that which is placed in the sky, which is not the sun, 8L41356. You would have to disregard all of that in order to maintain that, okay, it's the sun. That's fine. It is still not the sun because it is remaining over the same location all day long. There is no argument whatsoever is what I'm stating. There is no establishing under any circumstances that is the sun at all. All right. That directly convicts these stalkers driving City of Ontario vehicles. Understand that they are not just stalking. They're engaged in what is monitoring, which is entirely threatening when you're doing it in concert with the government. They're also engaged in sexual violence, and they're doing so in City of Ontario vehicles. All right. That is a means for federal prosecution, 8F16033, doing the same in their own private vehicle. That's to be addressed at federal prosecution. And that is that which will be severe. Every picture and video and capturing them while they're engaged in the P.O.C. and under all of these incredible circumstances is that which will be very, very sorely regretted in that forum. 8MCX926, 8HMV296, psychopath, 5XGG060, 8MSS635. All right. Under the impossible circumstance of a fake sun, because no sun is remaining over Ontario Plaza all day long, over the library all day long, over this literal quarter of this plaza area all day long. And that's what it's doing since the morning time until right now, which is 2:59 p.m. And even that you can compare with everything else that I have already published. All right. It is not the sun. No way. No day, Jose. No way. And this is incontrovertible, irreducible, and insurmountable evidence of what is stalking with light. And why? Because the state of California is monitoring, and it is a psychopath. Okay? You are missing a lot in your noggin to stalk in that manner for that purpose with this many people. 7 UMF 329. And every single last one of them are in, quote unquote, in on this. 6 CPM 429. That's why when they drive by, light shoots all over the place. 8SGK 928, which I have also shown and provided direct evidence of. I don't have to make up anything. The state is the one making up stuff. The state is the one that's making up fake suns. The state is the one that's trying to stop me from publishing documentation online because it is terrified. The state is the one that's trying to halt my ability to access Wi-Fi and trying to stop me from recording my podcast. That's not me. I don't have to make up anything. And by the way, that's called monitoring. That is also occurring while I'm documenting what is a public entity engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring. All right. There's nothing wrong with any of my communication devices whatsoever. And that is the pattern of conduct. While these psychopaths who are all around acting as though they're doing something normal and they're not, while a fake sun is around and light is shooting all around like it's an arcade, while they are trying to act as though they are normal, they're not. They're psychopaths, and they are stalking in the same manner that the state is stalking with a light source. Psychopaths. And that also makes them sex offenders. Understand that. Of a federal nature. Every single last one of them. 8 ROU 651. Now let me get you what is the state's fake sun now that I'm at Lemon and D Street, and 8LKD 496 is crossing. 4YQH 702 is crossing. State is molesting with light. and they are crossing paths, creating audible, visible activity in relevant position. This is 8NFB 931 and 8RO3478. I can't really see that whole plate. Looks like an 8, the first character. These are psychopaths that know they're being documented. Let me show you the state's fake sun, though. 7BXZ211. All right, I did capture more video. The state making another vast departure from being over the backside of the Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library to being over the field in front. 8SGV 828, and that is also that which is not occurring after going behind, meaning going east. Going east, then going south, then going north, then going east, then going what is west as I walk through and literally document, and then I walk on D Street and I walk what is west as after remaining, state's fake sun remaining over what is the backside of this plaza, meaning remaining over the University of Laverne parking lot, remaining over Page One Cafe, which is on the opposite side of this field, and as I take a few steps to walk up to the corner of Lemon and D Street, suddenly it's over the field in front at Wells Fargo. That's impossible light activity. That is stalking with light. 6H42474, the elevator company, 986247. That's P.O.C. That's their looks like their California license number. Anyway, they're called the elevator company in relevant position while the state is sounding sirens. That's audible activity under the state flight source 7GQK669. Crossing path and creating light activity 8TBM676. 6UCS 478. 8GBE251. All right, that's P.O.C. This third-party group stalkers stopping in the same location as the other ones. Understand they are one group engaging in replicating what they hear me document about their criminal activity. These are psychopaths, and all of them doing the same thing is not in any way making it normal. It is no less the criminal elements of monitoring. They're loitering in a relevant position, creating light activity, stopping in the middle of the sidewalk for no reason other than to turn on their turn signal and engage in what the other third party that they listen to me document engaged in. That's what they're doing. 7KUD 373, and they're engaged in criminal facilitation. That's license again 8TBM 676. 40624F1. That's a psychopath. They got issues. 7RLJ 466. There is no getting out of the pattern of conduct whatsoever. 8RSK 264. They're seeking on trying and fatally. Under a fake sun, mind you, okay? They're trying and relying on some individualization of the pattern of conduct. This is group conduct. Let me tell you what's going to be individualized. That federal prosecution, honey. That's what's going to be individualized. That's when you're going to be isolated. That's what's going, and that's what they're basing it on. This whole system is based on a false premise. And when you know what they're doing, there is no getting out of the P.O.C. 6WXD177, 7KUD373, 7FKW249. And let me tell you, that baboon literally just stopped at the sidewalk and turned on his turn signal and just sat there just like the other third party that he listened to me document. 7BAY563. For what purpose? All he's doing is monitoring, first of all. 8TEC116. And what is that supposed to... like it's normal. Everybody stops at the sidewalk right there and turns on the turn signal while they're not turning. Everybody does that. That is legally irrelevant. It doesn't matter. You're monitoring. You're monitoring. This is the asininity that I'm dealing with. All right? This is the asininity that I'm dealing with, which is highly criminal and very woefully unprepared for being documented and for being prosecuted, because this is criminal monitoring with communication devices. That's why the state is sounding its sirens. 8JYX507, which it is routinely doing every day and night everywhere I am. 8PZX344, literally incriminating 7DGK330. Idiots. 4YQH702. Under a fake sun. Those are all the elements of monitoring. 7VBB265. 8GPP561. 8KLS431. 8GBF191. 8EZV956. 8TCY606. 4RLU363. 8PAM516, 8RJU111,
Let's see, 6GJG135. It's 3:08 p.m. 7XDY895. 6NBJ036. Alrighty, that is P.O.C. State's fake son literally does what it does every day. I mean, this is nothing new. I have documented the state remaining with its light source over literally a single bus stop all day long. Okay, I've already done this before. I have documented the state remaining with its light source over the Ontario town square. That is not the sun either. All right, this is more of the same. It's literally impossible because it is moving in all manner of direction. It is impossible because it will remain for hours at the same location, 8 EST 016. It's impossible because it is in conflict with being squarely above, in its zenith, if you will, at every single location where I am at. It is impossible because it is remaining for the entirety of a day. All right? It is impossible for many reasons. And this is what these third parties are present, while also not just the fake sun. Oh, no. It doesn't stop there. They also have shooting light all around like an arcade while they drive by. And I don't have to make it up. I've already published the documentation. Impossible light activity while these psychopaths drive by. Okay? Shooting light, in addition to what I have also documented. The light manifesting in the shade, where you're seeing my shadow appearing because the state is aiming light everywhere. 7SRL068. 5JTS927 or 5JIS927. It's a Honda Accord. And this is the ongoing movement of this state's light source. While it is also aiming light in multiple directions. This is why I've shown what is also more than one shadow on the ground. That's not happening from the sun. Okay? This is none of this is from the sun. But this is while a fake sun is over me. 8FSY921. This is BC64L12. And this is all that which are methods of aiming light, stalking with light, that is remaining with light, molesting with light, while these third parties, who also always happen to be present, are also engaging in that very same criminal system. All right. And that is conduct that is very abnormal. Who thinks of something like that? Who participates in something like that? This is a matter of prescription. All right. They're not normal out here, but yet on their Facebook, and this is what I'm exposing, these psychopaths are out here on their Facebook like they're doing something BIG. Do not be impressed with somebody that has some medical degree in the state of California. They are psychopaths, they're sex offenders, they're criminals. They're targeting American citizens. That is nothing to be impressed about. And that is something that can be stated universally. Wherever this the target individual goes, this system is underway and is indiscriminate. 6AHC733. There is nothing impressive about that. They are psychopaths that are closeted, engaging in the convenience of going about whatever it is they do from day to day. Guess what? They're monitoring also from day to day. 20057T1. There ain't nothing impressive about that. 6WNC954. Nothing whatsoever. Nothing at all. 54236C3. 6PGX595. Serious, demented issues. Serious. There is a disconnect there. There is an absolute disconnect there. So there is nothing to be impressed with what they're stating, what they posit about California. California has a bunch of psychopaths that are going to be put away. 8PAF140. Because this is a prosecution that's going to be epic. It's going to be spectacular. This is 6KKP972. That which has never been in a lot of new legal concepts, okay? Because there shall be under no circumstances is a government, let alone any individual, going to get away with doing this to an American citizen. It's not only a violation of your constitutional rights, it's a violation of human rights, right? And this is that which the government is engaged in. There's no way you're going to get away with that. This is going to be the prosecution that has never been seen before of a government. Never. 8
MHB 229, 6LRY 603. And understand, the people of the state of California, these are the psychopaths that represent the government. They are going to be prosecuted. 8 GBE 251. They are in the shoes of the government. The government is relying on them in order to engage in this criminal system. 7VOG 251. And yes, indeed, they hide behind whatever uniform that they're wearing. They hide behind that medical license. They hide behind that law license. They hide behind that robe that they're wearing while they're sitting on the bench as a judge. They're hiding behind that. They hide behind that police uniform. That is a psychopath in that police uniform. Understand that. That's what this evidence is showing. The evidence speaks for itself. 0548 054L8202, I believe, substantially similar. 8CBG 313, I think. 43477Y2. And I have seen this, and this is the entity that shows its true colors when it thinks it's getting away with something, when it thinks that nobody is watching. Okay, this is what you'll see on the cameras, which is my documentation for the federal prosecution of the state of California inside of West Valley. Okay, 8TDD872. All right, this is what you'll see on the facility cameras. 1562885, vehicle number 4202, City of Ontario, repeat sex offender group stalker psychopath in a City of Ontario car. This is what you'll see with regard to being on the facility cameras inside of Glen Helen Rehabilitation Center, where the public entity kidnapped me. Okay, 7VFF013. This is what you'll see inside of the courtroom, which is the Rancho Cucamonga courthouse, where they're engaged in, massive. They are literally in there just having a monitoring fiesta. It's celebratory, if you will, while Lisa Rogan is engaging in monitoring me and preparing to haul me off to a mental ward, having no right whatsoever, not even engaging in what is a real, genuine prosecution. Okay, and this is that which is on the cameras. This is what the entity engaged in when it is assuming that it's getting away with something, and you're going to see the deputies inside of the facilities engaging in this psychopath relevant positioning. Understand that third parties are doing it in their cars, and the state is doing it by airplane and helicopter, this pacing back and forth. Psychopaths on foot, and you really see the crazy when they're doing it on foot. 8KVW561. And it's not a crazy that removes criminal responsibility. These are psychopaths that are monitoring, and they are engaged in obsessive monitoring. And these deputies and the inmates, okay, and the medical professionals. 2-3 RUS. I do not like that title. I think that is not an accurate title. They are not medical professionals. They're medical workers. All right. They're psychopaths that are hiding behind that uniform, that title, while they're engaged in criminal conduct. They're the lowest of the low. 7NVP 801, wearing on their exterior that which is supposed to be a badge of honor when they are nothing honorable whatsoever. That is the state acting through them. 7402 1W1. And understand what I have documented, the evidence that I have against the state is not just isolated to this part of California or Ontario or San Bernardino County. This is demonstrative of what the state is engaged in the courts. Okay, the Court of Appeals does not engage in violating your constitutional right, your First Amendment right to freedom of speech. Okay, this is a very basic legal concept. Service of process. The Court of Appeals, okay, 2nd Division, 4th Appellate District, 2nd Division, did not engage in that criminal act of obstruction because it's only happening in San Bernardino, Riverside County. That's not. This is the courts. This is the jails. This is the police that are engaged in this criminal system. 7C80970. Okay, this is probative. This is revealing of what the state of California is engaged in, and they are psychopaths wearing judges' robes. They are psychopaths in this medical profession, making up whatever they want in order to engage in criminal obstruction of justice, to silence, while criminally defaming. That's what it is. It's silencing the targeted individual. Acting in concert. The state is acting through them. Understand that. You are not going to have that medical license anymore. You're using it for a criminal purpose and an unprecedented level of criminal activity that you're using it for. The state is using your medical license to engage in criminal conduct. No, federal prosecution, you lose that. You're not doing that anymore. 5NSL 899, in addition to the fact 7MGA770, while you're engaged in kidnapping, because you're monitoring me while I'm kidnapped, you're engaged in kidnapping, just like any other fact pattern where any other co-conspirator, any other person that is there present, engaging in the criminal conduct in any way and monitoring me while I am kidnapped, speaking to the ongoing system while I am subject to that kidnapping, the purpose for which I was kidnapped by the police and the court, okay? You're subject to... you will lose your freedom as well. In other words, I'll just put that. You're going to lose your liberty. That's how federal prosecution will go. Where kidnapping is in the fact pattern, oh, yeah, that's a whole other. And this is what the state is engaged in. This is everything that my documentation reveals. And while I'm inside of these state facilitating venues, you see the psychopaths on camera, 8SMH004, while they were under the assumption and not even thinking of the fact that they're being documented inside of their own venues, 8HSG123, all right? This is before they became cognizant of the fact that before I clearly pointed it out. And they are psychopaths. I mean, whoo, not all the way there. This is demonic. And understand that that demonic system is that which is malicious psychopaths engaging in criminal activity. That's all it is. 8E32985. And that is the most accurate description. That is the most accurate description. And all of this rooting from where? Because I'm talking about a fake son? Yes. This is why they are going to such an extreme end with a fake son, because they are engaged in this criminal system together. That's what you have light hovering over that target individual for, 8NNE140. This is why you do so. Okay, this is exactly what this ongoing real-time documentation on my podcast is serving the purpose of. You pay attention to the pictures that I'm taking, the videos that I'm capturing. This third-party group stalker wearing sunglasses is a psychopath and a sex offender. He is pathetic. This is what California puts up on their social media as though they are something to be a symbol of something. They're not. They're a symbol of psychopaths. They are a symbol of sickos. They got issues. They have serious issues. Okay? I am not interested whatsoever in keeping any of their psychopath secrets. I'm exposing all of it, and I'm going to prosecute them in addition to prescribing what federal prosecution will fully entail. 4XTL007. 23724, a Nevada plate. No, that's not a Nevada plate. That's some other plate. I don't know what that is. 3BNM900. All of them in front of Omnitrans 87 on its camera. 6ACM661. All of them monitoring together. Right? They are one group in individual cars and in a commercial vehicle monitoring together. 4ZAS822. P.O.C. An impossible light activity shooting out from underneath the bus as it drives by. That's why you document them. Okay, that's sexual violence. You're touching me while you're crossing path. That's bus number 2343, route number 87. While, mind you, a fake son is present. That's the systematic monitoring. That's how the public entity engages in it. 6PGX595. At no time of day is there ever going to be any kind of light that's shooting off, orange light shooting off and around a vehicle. It's called impossible light activity. It's monitoring conduct. 7MSL886. Everybody on that bus, including the driver, is monitoring. It is a moving venue, if you will, and it is a massive communication device, if you will. And it is the exact same P.O.C. By Omnitrans as it is at every other third party, such as 5YWC633, 6NYG209, 5J.I.S 927, 92783Y2, 6U61784, 6J95213. This is it's 3:23 p.m. 7H 43730, I believe. 8FDJ292. I can't really see that one. You can scratch that one. This old thing, 5KYG 944, 8KJX 743, 8TQK 070. It's 3:23 p.m. Group stalkers in front of me with their phone. The absence of coincidence, the hovering UPS airplane as I'm looking at the tail of it sinking beneath the City Hall building behind me, and third-party group stalkers walking in front of me and on the side of me. 8GMK541. Eight FAE 988. 5D71242. It's 3:25 p.m. 7ZHS 357. Understand they are the same group engaged in ongoing molestation. 8RZG 680. That's what they do as a means of monitoring with the state, and they do so intentionally with knowledge. So let me put it this way. As I engage in the legal analysis of monitoring and the ways in which you are violating the person, that's a psychopath. UKC 3639, that's an out-of-state plate. She looked like a psychopath. While you engage in monitoring and creating the legal analysis, you have what is another means of systematic infliction of inhumane suffering. The psychopath that is aware of what you're documenting, in real time, aware of it, 7VFD241, seeking to try to inflict some degree of harm based on what it is monitoring as you are writing. It's violation of the person, it's routine violation of the person, it's sexual violence. And so they engage in repeating that 6NNJ207 with knowledge of that legal analysis. Do you understand? Legal analysis doesn't exist. There is no federal legislation to address this. So as I am literally creating that law, these psychopaths are engaging in not only monitoring, they're intentionally doing so, seeking to inflict harm. 8RDC 073. Understand that is the definition of a psychopath. Okay, that's what psychopaths do. 7EMN544. And how do I know this? Because this is the pattern of conduct. 7SJK928, 96215B2. And the state engages, the state is the one that's aiming the light while third-party group stalkers are driving by and or walking by. And the state is the one that is engaging in this light sweeping all over the surfaces and onto my person while third parties happen to be present. That's concerted conduct. But it's the state that's doing that, not the third party that's driving their car. All right, that's the state that's doing that. 93933T1, the state is acting through their presence. So that license 93933T1 is present intentionally while the state and facilitating the state's ability to engage in the creation of light activity all over the surface, all over my person while they cross path. All right. It's concerted conduct and it is criminal facilitation, and they are touching together because they are monitoring together, engaging in the criminal elements. All right. That's the legal analysis. The pattern of conduct is such that third parties are engaged in this ongoing malicious conduct, hoping to inflict some sort of harm based on what they are monitoring, as I have created the legal analysis, the federal legislation for what is sexual violence while you're monitoring, because you're touching. So this is also that which is demonstrated by the deputies in the jail. All right, 5GVP 896, while they were monitoring what it was I was writing. All right, that's the demonic feature. And they also demonstrated, because as I write it, they engage in it more and more and more. They engage in like hyper light activity. So you've got a whole group of them that would come to my cell aiming flashlights all over me for no reason. 8LMD 337, just coming up and making you need to go no, I don't have to go talk to any nurse. I never gave any consent. I'm here illegally. They're creating audible activity while they were kicking and beating on the cell door, opening and closing the cell door, threatening to pepper spray me, threatening to quote unquote snatch me up, threatening to do physical harm to me, right? That's audible activity. It's also a threat, intimidation, right? But it's all monitoring. This is why they were beating on the cell doors. This is why they were aiming flashlights. It's monitoring, and it's also sexual violence. And as they were aware in real time of what I was writing out as to the law for prosecuting this criminal conduct, they engage in hyper conduct. Like they would do even more and more and more and more. As I engage in creating the legislation for what is sexual violence in the bathroom, you have the deputies that would engage in 7RGG 819. You have the deputies that would engage in engaging in that conduct even more. Like even as after I finish writing it out. All right. Yes, it's P.O.C, but that is malicious conduct that they would engage in with knowledge of what I have created for purposes of prosecuting sexually motivated criminal monitoring conduct. All right. This is the psychopath. That's psychopath. And that is sexual violence, right? That's predatorial. That's the threatening stalker that is aiming at trying to do harm to you sexually, trying to violate your person, right? That's a whole other level of threat and whole other level of criminal activity. And that's what that is the base federal charge for being a federal group stalking and monitoring. For engaging in federal group stalking and monitoring. That's the base. Sexual violence is inherent to the P.O.C. And they're all engaged in it together. 7MOQ 007. 7MOQK 007. It's 3:30 p.m. This is the state acting directly. It is a psychopath in a fire truck, okay? They literally lurk in the dark and during the day around corners in fire trucks, waiting to sound their sirens. This is the state stalking directly. Psychopath in a fire truck with license plate number 1332569, right? That's a psychopath with 7DIG 460 driving behind them. And driving behind them 8NXF 955, right? While the state has impossible light activity touching all over the ground while they cross path. That's the state engaging in sexual violence. The state is a sex offender engaging in that sexual violence in a multitudinous amount of ways. All right? That was the fire truck where the state's fake sun is present and where absolutely impossible light activity all over the sidewalk and the asphalt as they cross path. That's the psychopath in the fire department vehicle that are engaged in ongoing stalking on a constant basis. They just did so right now visually. That's all they did. They are psychopaths literally in a fire truck. It is 3:32 p.m. So what we're going to want to capture is how the state's fake sun is moving backwards. Here it is. At 3:32 p.m. after being over the field. This is relative to Euclid Avenue. 8 ESP 308. Substantially similar. Can't really see that one. 8 BHH 450. I don't want to miss these psychos. P7 84LO. All right, and this is the fake sun moving backwards, back over the parking lot. All right, the significance of that is the ongoing remaining presence of the fake sun over the same location all day long. And we can go from before 10:30, but I'm just using 10:30 as a marker because that's the video that video that I captured moments before I went inside of the Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library, and it was captured over the 280 Lemon Apartments, but it's been present over the same literal location all day long, and also moving in all manner of direction. 8J SB 542, 8 PPL 364, and 8 PQC 508. And as I captured it, as I walked up to what is Lemon and D Street, and the state's fake sun made an abrupt departure, moved very far up, 8A50833, 7ADU 319, 39252OHS, substantially similar to that, 8EVR 542, 8CTA 707, 6SGD 266, 8HIL 783. You have the state's fake sun, which has captured at that where I'm standing at Lemon and D Street, over the field nearest Euclid Avenue, and as 6RHR 416. And as I captured at that location, It is no longer over the parking lot of the Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library, okay? And that's what I mentioned. This is the state's light source moving backwards as I walk what is in the 6M, 6M WC 258, 8GYD 926. I can't really see those. So you have as I walk on D Street back in the toward the same location that I came from, meaning I am walking what is east on D Street. And you have the state's fake sun that's over the library again. 8DXZ 806, 7XCN 567. And this is 6CHD 228. All right. Understand that this location of the sun's light source, if it were in that location, I would not have been facing Euclid Avenue. I would have, as I stood at the corner of Lemon and D Street, I would have taken a picture of what is the parking lot of the library. It was not over the library whatsoever. 6NQU 569. This is, again, that abrupt movement of the light source. And as I stand at what is, again, Plum and Cherry, I believe. No, I'm at Plum and D Street, excuse me. As I stand at Plum and D Street, this is the parking lot. This is the sidewalk. I'm literally standing on the sidewalk corner of Plum and D Street. And this is the parking lot of the Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library, where the state's fake sun is directly over that parking lot. All right. And they are all patrolling. 4UDF 159, 8FRZ 779, 1207117, 5VIP 521. 7CLH 252. While the state's light source is moving up and down the street. All right. This third-party group stalker, 7CLH 252, is just stopping for no reason. There is absolutely no stop sign. BC48H11, paper plate 12758A3, 7VCL 917. While the state's fake sun has moved backwards again, meaning it has replaced itself back over the Ontario Ontario Library, Ovitt Family Community Library parking lot, to aim light directly onto me as I walk what is back onto the same street, meaning as I walk on D Street, as I walk what is east on D Street again. So I walked west, now I'm walking east, and it's back over. 8JMD 545, monitoring with the state. That's sounding sirens via psychopath and AMR ambulance vehicle under the state's fake sun. Criminal facilitation and sex offender. 3:37 p.m. Let me tell you something about that. That is the state sounding its sirens as I am in relevant position, stopping its sirens with simultaneity to my touching my phone. So as I go to the camera function, understand that is monitoring conduct, okay? Starting or stopping activity which is ongoing or stopping activity which is ongoing is activity creation. Starting activity which is not occurring is activity creation. So as they're sounding their sirens and they stop sounding their sirens, that's stalking with activity conduct. They do it at the same time. They are monitoring, and that was AMR that engaged in stopping their sirens use as they cross path. Lights are still on. The fake sun is still here, having moved back from being over, which is what Wells Fargo facing Euclid Avenue, and then being back over the Ontario Library parking lot as I walk what is, like I described, east on Plum. AMR stopped sounding its sirens with simultaneity to my changing functions to record video of it. That's the stalking with activity conduct. That is light activity while they are creating stalking with activity, audible activity, while they're in relevant position, mind you, under a fake sun. All right. These are the universal facts. That is the state stalking directly. That is the state engaging in criminal facilitation of monitoring and sexual violence. It is 3:39 p.m. JDG 504. 8 HME 846, I believe. 4703 5T2. 3:40 p.m. To 64229V1 8R ZG 680. HNT 573, 6PGX 595, California license number 40424, license 160896, City of Ontario number 9171, sexual violence, orange impossible light activity, touching all over me while they are driving west on D Street, 7RHY 613, I believe, 39676B2, 77916D2. 7 TLA 627. 7 UGM 872. 8R GB 876. I can't really see that one that clearly. Alrighty, this is license 21943U2. Pro Pipe 4003789 is the number on the back of that truck. 6LRY 603. Pro Pipe U.S.U. Oh, I can't see that one. 7819 HJ2. Can't really see that license plate that clearly. That's the same company. Two trucks of the same company. And 5YOU738, again, crossing path. And understand while those vehicles are crossing path, they're all touching with light. Impossible light activity, that's never occurring from the sun, let alone this is not the sun over the Ontario Open Family Library. This is 6FQB478 3763421, I believe, substantially similar, 8T72614. 6WVV704. 7XCN 789, 6GPM 791. This is paper BC48H11. It's a paper plate on a black Silverado pickup truck. Five VIP 521. It is currently 3:43 p.m. Eight FKE 059. 3RO3478. 3VQE227. 4WDK352. 8TDP992. 8CLW931. 7402-1W1. 8ALL319. 7XRE992. 6 PNW 888. It is currently 3:44 p.m. This is license 8JLD 479. 8 KZE 528. Seven TJN 627. 5XCN 492. Alrighty. These are license plates 7LML 973, 5NFB 014. They're monitoring. This is D Street. So all of these private residences, they're all in relevant position. And the state is sounding sirens. The state is aiming its light. The state is hovering in planes. They are monitoring in relevant position. 6GER 853, HCN 1183. That's a Texas plate. Let's see. I got that license plate already. I don't know if I read 6 CPM 429. Let's see. 8 HNC 679. 7 SGW 944. Omnitrans 87, acting with 7NAZ 601, 8RDG 876, 8LGV 733, 72974 W1. All right, referencing the security cameras. P.O.C. monitoring. Referencing the security cameras, 87. This is license plate number 1545685. All right. That is bus number 2354. License 09398M2. 7JVP827. 8TPB 768, excuse me. This is license 5R61888. Five GMZ 546. 7RXG 721. All right, it is currently 3:48 p.m. And this is ongoing documentation of what is stalking with light. The state's light source, which is in the form of a literal fake sun, an oxymoron, because it is not the sun, and it is being documented as such, remaining over the exact same plaza all day long. It is currently over what is the back parking lot of the Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library, aiming light onto me, onto my property, and possible light activity while these third parties that I'm documenting are driving past, meaning as they're driving what is east and west on D Street, which is the pattern of conduct I've already documented, and which is never occurring under any light whatsoever. Okay, light is not shooting off of cars as people drive past. All right, that's demonic activity. It's that's the marker of a third party. That's the marker of the system for monitoring. 8G55990, and it is also sexual violence. All right, touching with light is inherent to the pattern of conduct. This is ongoing documentation of the state's fake sun remaining at this same. Understand, as I'm walking around, I'm remaining at the same location. It's the same plaza where the state's fake sun remained all day long. Okay, meaning morning until now. All right, that is not the sun. If you have the sun, if you want to pause it, like I've already stated, if that was the sun this morning, it is not at the same building, the same plaza all day long. That is not the sun whatsoever. The sun is in constant motion, not remaining stationary in one location, especially remaining directly over me. While also what you have is, because you are looking at all the facts, while also you have this peculiar light activity, which I have proven is ongoing. All right, as they are present, meaning the third parties happen to be present, the state happens to be present, in their vehicles while this light activity is shooting all over the place. This is a system of federal group stalking and monitoring. All right. Not only is this movement, this migration of this light source, that which is impossible, meaning this is an artificial light source in the sky, 7 NBS 193, 7 KUW 976. It is also impossible because it is remaining over the same physical location, meaning essentially the same address. It went from being over the 280 Lemon Apartments, staying over me as I walk all the way back to what is Sultana and C Street, B and Cherry, Ontario Town Square, as I walk over there, and over City Hall and the parking lot of the fire department, and the City Hall parking lot, to remaining right over the same physical building of the Ontario Open Family Community Library. All right. And not only that, it is nowhere near anywhere over D in Euclid, as I captured it in pictures as well. I took a picture of what is right in front of me at that time, which was the bus stop, where at that time on January 14th, where the state's fake sun was squarely above that bus stop. And that would be clearly seen from my angle as I remain here. And that was not the case because I'm not at that bus stop, and because the state is engaged in ongoing stalking remaining relative to my location. And it is impossible in that manner as well. Not only, so basically for purposes of comparison to the state's placement of its light source, while third-party group stalking psychopath sex offenders are present, you have the state, which is also engaging in impossible light activity while it is remaining in one location. And by one location, I mean exactly that. Like, it's remaining over the same building all day long, or the same bus stop all day long, the same plaza all day long, not engaged in any movement whatsoever, moving as I move, and moving in manners in conflict with the actual sun. It is impossible for multiple reasons, all right? 7 AFC 503, 8 EJB 678. They're just engaged in ongoing patrolling. These are psychopaths. 6 HPE 041. This is why the state stalks with the fake sun. It has the psychopath minions working in concert with it. 6 WFH 074. While the state is flying over in a small airplane in relevant position. It is 3:52 p.m. License plate 6GDR 532. And as third parties are engaging in what is patrolling, they are one group maintaining presence, so they're just repeatedly crossing paths, monitoring one after another, after another, after another. They're one group, though. 7EJU 276, I believe. 8CTD 841. And as they're doing that, the state is flying over in relevant position in a smaller size white airplane. That is P.O.C, Federal Group Stalking and Monitoring, Concerted Conduct, 8CFX 214. 6ZET 850, 7VCB 207, 8MTZ 384, 8JYG 750. It's currently 3:54 p.m. So as I was stating, while the psychopaths are just having a field day crossing path, thinking they're escaping being identified for purposes of identifying their specific identity, the 951 KINGT, no, 5UGV 289, the state's fake sun, it is established as a fake sun because that is no conduct whatsoever as the actual sun, which does not remain physically present over your apartment building, physically present over your place of business, the grocery store, or over an entire plaza all day long. No. And then while it remains present over that plaza all day long, it's engaged in remaining present over that plaza while physically remaining directly over you while you remain at that plaza. All right. Woo! That's some serious stalking. 8 DVR 426, 4 EMU 834, 7 SHL 046, LAURYS S, 8 SVA 032, 7 YJL 909. Psychopaths, impossible light activity while they're just driving by. Intentional presence. This is a third-party group stalker on foot, 0421 OU2. While the same impossible light activity is present. Psychopath 6 GER 736. Already documented that one. 8 DMJ 030. 7 GBB 258. Psychopath. 8 HRU 397. Eight BVK 890. 8KZH 552. It is 3:56 p.m. 7AJR 852 or 952. I couldn't see the last part. 7ATX 968. 7Z08655. 5EVT 168. 7HIB 898. 4BIR or 4BTR 003. CRZ FOX 6YEA 059. 5PHM 486. This group stalker over here at 303 on D Street. His address is either 303 D Street or 303 Plum. I'm guessing it's 303 Plum. Plum Avenue. Stalking with activity. Okay, making noise with simultaneity to what I would do on my phone. That's not the first time we do it. This is the first time I'm mentioning it. Not the first time that he's doing that. They are monitoring, all of them. 7 HVN 781. 7 TLA 627. 7 NFW 432. 8 SFP 308, patrolling, just crossing path again. 8 TOF 753. 8 MVR 582. 8 SND 412. You got a psychopath just stopping in the middle of the street. You can hear them taking off. They're just sitting in the middle of the street. 71440M2. Five UMK 829. 7NW T462. 35722 F1, 5 BVN 092, 5 WJE 920. It's currently 3:59 p.m. 7 VNA 668, 5 YJF 645. Yeah, he is stalking with activity at 303 Plum Avenue. So is the state with the sirens. 8MSV 186. Sirens faintly sounding in the background. That is intentional creation with simultaneity. I'm literally shuffling papers in my hand. And by the way, the state is engaged in amplification, making things sound closer than they are and farther away than they actually are. 8RZC something 48. Can't really see that. 7NXD085, or substantially similar. So, for example, while I am at the museum and the state is doing nothing but remaining in relevant position, literally patrolling on traffic cameras, and or just sitting stationary, sounding sirens, because the state is amplifying audible activity. And so it sounds like the sirens are moving somewhere, or that they're getting farther away, and they're not. They're not. The state is just stalking and using sirens, acting with 37298G1 and 39932S1 while they are patrolling around to that audible activity that the state amplifies in the method of sirens. All right. Making it sound closer than it is, louder than it is, and farther away than it actually is. 5PJB077. It is unnatural sound. It is unnatural, that which is the light activity as well. This is what characterizes this system. 8NM552. I can't really see that one that clearly. BLUE. BLUE and a star QV. MMP 524. It is currently 4:02 p.m. FCW 635. Gonna want to take a picture. It's 4:02 p.m. 8DWL 725. PNK 047. All right, state just ongoing sounding of its sirens. And that is being amplified, sounding as though it's on this side of the block, sounding as though it's on the block in front of me. That's amplification 8V65532, 6YAX524, 4UVD918. While the state is hovering in the plane that I captured in video, 8BQY528, and while the state's fake sun is remaining over the Ovid Family Library parking lot, remaining after already making a wide departure going across, which is the Wells Fargo area, which I captured in my video. I was not facing Ontario Ovid Family Community Library. I was speaking to how it made a grand departure to being at that location after being remaining for a prolonged period over the Page 1 Cafe, the Ontario Ovid Family Community Library. This is the state remaining with that light source hours 6KRV 641 over the same location overall. Okay, this is the same exact plaza, and it has remained all day long. This is license 8JLK016. All right, which is also that which is not behavior of the sun that is in constant movement. 8PHM486. 8A UJ98. Can't really see that one that clearly. Is 7WON961. It is currently 4:05 p.m. and that is the image that I took of the video of the state's fake sun as it is remaining over the aiming light onto me at the corner where I'm standing, as it is remaining present over the parking lot, the Ontario Ovid Family Community parking lot member, after being directly over 280 living apartments, literally at the edge, acting as though it's moving westward. And then I engage in showing that it is not. That is the state stalking with light, and that is the entirety of this documentation for today. Yet another day showing how the state is stalking with light, moving in impossible manners in what is supposed to be the sun, and this is no way the sun. And this is documentation of what is federal group stalking and monitoring. A public entity monitoring in concert with the people of the state of California. The license plates represented by the third parties monitoring with that entity that I'm documenting. That is why the state is engaged in remaining present with that light source. It is currently 4:06 p.m. 5BVZ 533. This is license plate aiming light onto me as my phone is powered on. 7FN 2029. 7464 7G1 8TUM 540. 428 3S1. License plate 6RAS 758. Yeah. License plate almost 8KTC 054. License plate 6KRF 597. 8NLC 335. 4HTS 362. 5NSL 949. The state is flying over this helicopter. I'm flying over by helicopter, which is heard inside of the store. That's amplification, by the way. That's impossible audible activity. While all the third-party group stalkers inside of Walmart, employees and customers alike in relevant position. This is monitoring. Walmart sounding its speakers, talking about the inventory, which it is audible activity. Understand that these are all third parties. They're all monitoring. That's why the state is swarming over the Walmart in planes and flying around, by the way, in helicopters. 6ZRC 006. License plate 8 GEK 563. This is Walmart located at 1333 North Mountain Avenue, where the state places its fake sun, where the state has already engaged in. Oh, okay. You want to go there?
Remember where the Popeyes is?
8PL3844. That's a Washington plate. Yeah. You want to go there? Oh, okay. 7VWS 347. KKA 379. That's Oklahoma plate. 8AFY 478. Group stalkers surrounding, including license plate number 7XOH 472. Oh, 7XDU 477. 20183Y2. They're stalking in the parking lot. They're sitting in their cars, aiming headlights around. They're engaging in the same conduct inside of the parking lot. Patrolling past in their cars. It's the same exact P.O.C. This is systematic monitoring everywhere you go. 8MZL 824. There we go. Cooper, sitting in the lot, just waiting for me to walk past. 8MTP 307. 8SQC 773. 8AVC 674. 6WIC 762. 8MYC 557. 8HP D075. 8CEB 126 4677 3J2. 8FVB 475. 7 POV 390. 8 BKTE 929. 5 WBM 532. 7 BRK 785. 9645 0B1. BUEY 644. 7 MBA 346. 7 FKW 997. 6500 3C2. BKT 1908. It's 6:25 p.m. And that is, oh, I got that license plate already. So as I am on camera, exiting out of the entrance, a third-party group stalker with their hazards on, that's stalking with light in front of the store. As I exit, you'll see a Walmart employee on a crutch, a large black, it's an African-American male with the Walmart vest on a cane. Light activity via hazard lights as I walk out, surrounding with light. They're all surrounded with light in the parking lot, sitting in their cars in the parking lot, driving past with their lights on. The state is flying over the airspace, including by helicopter. This is P.O.C. at 1333 North Mountain Avenue. This is P.O.C. 8TJF 025.